Oh, something went haywire there. Okay, I'm just gonna shut that up. Something went haywire, and I think it was something on another channel or something. All right, I'm just grabbing my ice water. Tumbler number 1 with a straw. Perfect ratio of water and ice. Anyway, welcome. Happy Tuesday. Hope you all had a good day. Hope you had an excellent day. You know what, though? I need to mute something because I think I was just getting feedback a minute ago. And I have to mute it or it's going to do it again. Anyway, I figured I'd come on for a little bit. I wanted to make sure that our friend Ty was okay. Let's see here. Let me see if I can mute this thing here. But I'm going to pull up my stream. All right. So I can see you guys better. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody was okay. I drove about 200 miles today. Me and my friend. And I got back and spent the rest of the day in the yard. And I'm super excited. I got stuff coming in my garden. All right. So I think I got your... see your comments. Hold on just a second, guy. Grabbing the comments. All right. I got it. Live stream, open chat. Okay. That's a go. I got to learn how to do this on my laptop because it's just not fun doing this on two phones. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing watching on laptop, recording on a phone. So yeah, I'm going to see if I can do this different soon. All right. I think I can see comments. Top messages. We'll do the... I think I want the live comments. There you go. All right. I'm going to start up at the top. Let's see everybody. Okay, first one in is Say It Out Loud, says, hey, party people. Good to see you guys tonight. I don't know why I'm all washed out again. I'm looking a little pale tonight up on the screen. Alicia, good evening to you too. Hello to you. Say it out loud. Let's see. Not My Monkey says good night. Good night to you too. You know, did you guys go and watch Patrick's stream? I think Grace did. I was cutting the grass and I was doing stuff, so I did not see his stream. So I popped in at the very beginning when he was, I think, was he reading a letter? Can't remember what he was doing. Anyway, so you guys can give me your thoughts on that, what you thought about Patrick's stream tonight. Anyway, maybe you can fill me in. Let's see. So up yours, who cares? Good evening to you too. Good to see you tonight. I hope you're doing well. Or whatever time it is where you are. Good to see you tonight. Green salutations to you too, Grace. Welcome and thank you for moderating as always. Let's see. So good evening to Betty. Hello to you too. Hope you're feeling well. Dear Jane, good to see you tonight. Welcome. Comes in waving a wave back. Uh, let's see. Did I get everybody? Hey, bro. Good to see you tonight. Good evening, Kathy and chat mods. Thank you for all that you do. Well, thank you for watching and thank you for being here. Appreciate that. D, good to see you tonight. Hope you're doing well. Hope the weather is holding out for you and everybody else. We're back down to the 70s now, I think, for at least tomorrow. That's about as far as I look. But still humid, like goodness. It still feels hot when it's humid. And we're not used to the humidity here. Well, hey, Susan says so. I'm sorry, Susan says so much. Welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing good. Yeah, I wanted to I was coming on because I was hoping that TNT was doing okay. I just want to make sure that she was doing okay tonight. So, TNT, if you're listening, we'd like to make sure that you're okay. And anyway, just be here for you. So, and we're also here for Sarah Little too. We're here for Sarah Little. Girl, we're here for you. So anyway, hashtag Sarah Little and anybody else who needs support. Miss January, good to see you tonight. Hey, I'll be driving for a while. Okay, very good. Some people have those where you can plug it into the car speakers. That's what my friend has. And anyway, I think that's kind of cool when you can listen to it to the speakers. It's been hot. Stay inside except early morning, nighttime. Yeah. Yep, that's what they do down south too. Relatives in the south, and they get out very early in the morning. And I think by 10, 11, 12, it's just too hot. Especially the people that's like around 100 degrees. Now, I know the dry heat is a lot better. I get that for sure. Because it was only in the 70s today. It felt like 90. Just sweating. Anyways, I was riding on a tractor and I'm still sweating. It's like I wasn't even doing anything. Except having fun. Let's see. Yeah, drive safe. Yes, drive safe, Miss January. Wasn't that beautiful? Not My Monkeys, very heartfelt and authentic. Did Not My Monkeys say something about the letter? Did I miss a comment? Oh, I did miss a comment. I'm sorry. Okay, Not My Monkey said he read a heartfelt message about what it was like to know Timmy, and that was about it. A lot of guitar tuning and dead silence. Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for filling me in. I love the recap. You know what? That's the one part that I tuned in on. He was reading that letter, so I didn't hear anything before it or after it. So anyway, that's good to know. Yeah. Yep. Good evening. Yeah, and then that's what Grace was responding to. Let's see. Oh, that's why Grace said that. Wasn't that a beautiful Not My Monkeys, very heartfelt and authentic. Yeah. It's just, and it was just a year ago, that things were. A year ago, Eric had made his first visit by himself for 3 days or whatever. Did the meet Patrick and Eric thing, and then he left and he went to Robert Mass trial stuff for the entire month of July. And during that time, I don't know where Adult Protection shows up on Patrick's lawn or whatever at his house, and concerned about Timmy. And was that a coincidence? Anyway, so there had only been a 3-day visit down there. And you know what? He even admitted on one of his live streams. He said, from the minute I was down there, I was taking notes in my head. Yeah, okay, why, what? What do you mean notes for what? Yeah, to turn everybody in, basically what he's saying. He noticed it was dirty and all this stuff. And he noticed Lorraine was pointing to her forehead. Okay. Oh, and he was determined to find out why. It's like, okay. Oh yeah, the people who still fall for him, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I feel bad for him actually. Oh my goodness. And those are the type of people that someone like Eric finds to get married to. So anyway, I guess there's somebody for everybody. Uh new Sarah's now Sarah's messages to Eric. That's a different story. That had so much more teeth in it than Patrick's live. Sarah spelled it out pretty well. Yeah, I watched a little bit of I watched part of it. I think yesterday, because that wasn't today, right? It was yesterday. I'm sure because I was gone. So I know it wasn't today. But yeah, I watched only part of it so far. But yeah, way more credibility, 100%. And it's so crazy that he built a channel out of fathers' rights trying to fight for their children. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make that up, man. Oh man. Storybook writers couldn't even, Hollywood script writers couldn't even write that. Oh my gosh. I let the dogs out earlier today and the heat slapped me upside the face as soon as I opened it. I know, right? I've been there. Even my dogs will if it's raining or too hot, they'll just, stop at the door at the threshold and look at me and then turn around and go back in. I'm like, I told you. Yeah. Oh, there is a lady playing No Fly Zone link that Grace put up. Thank you. Oh, I haven't finished all of Sarah Little's live stream yet, so I can't give a opinion. Yeah, I haven't either, but I started on it yesterday. Thought her videos are spot on. Huh. I haven't watched the videos yet. I noticed that he just ignored my question, where's the money? Who did? Who ignored the question, Susan? You talking about Patrick or Eric? Hey, Nazreen, good to see you tonight. Welcome. Good to see you. I hope you had a great day. All is well. Let's see here. Eric has blocked me from I got blocked. I don't even know how long ago. I think when he was still doing Wickers. Actually, I think Dwayne blocked me way back in the day. Because I haven't been able to get it ever. Yeah. Even before I made videos, I was blocked. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't about my videos. I know it. It's just my opinion. Eric has me blocked from his comments. Eric never even fought for the right to see his daughter. He just walked away. I know. And isn't it crazy? He's got a channel for fathers fighting for the rights to see their kids. Oh my goodness. Like I said, you can't even write that. The people wouldn't even believe it if it was like a Hollywood star. You know what I mean? That never happened. It can and it did. It's doing it right now. Oh, great. And you know what? I'm going to tell you what the most bizarre thing to me is. That video that he put up in his muscle shirt where he's not looking the freshest, right? Let's just be honest. I'm not knocking anybody's looks, but Eric did not look very fresh. And anyway, he was all over the place with his message. But that message, if you look at the thumbnail, it's a guy, I think it's supposed to be him, and a little girl that's, I think, is his daughter. And, Sarah's child. And it says, I'm leaving a message behind, or a message for you, or whatever the hell it was. So basically, it's supposed to be a message to the daughter, right? Like, I'm gonna go down the road. I'll catch up with you later when you're an adult, and we're gonna have a big hug. And when we hug, when we finally meet someday and we hug, you're gonna know that your daddy loved you. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, okay. So she's gonna meet you at 18 years old. He said like when she moves out of the house. So if I got this right, okay, I think I remember it right. Well, hey, Brooks and Garden, good to see you tonight. Welcome. I think, and do I have this right? And so he's basically saying, I'll catch up with you later. And then when you move out of your mom's house, we're gonna have a big hug. And then you know what? You're gonna tell when I hug you that your dad always loved you or something. I'm like, oh, what world is he in? I don't know. I think he's personally, just my opinion, I think he's acting kind of dysfunctional. Anyway, but if you're gonna leave that behind for your daughter, I have a couple questions. Eric, I don't know if he's ever watching. He seems to be taking notes, but I don't know. But Eric, if you ever watch this, yeah, I think there's some problems with that. Number one, if that's for your daughter, okay, why the hell are you putting it on YouTube, right? You should have just put on a private link and then sent it to the mom and whatever. And then, yeah, but he didn't. He put it out on YouTube. And number two question, also obvious, is why did you involve all these other people? Like, why did you intertwine the Whitakers, ending the Whitaker stuff with a message for your daughter? Just like, I don't know if he really thought all of that out very well. You know what I mean? I mean, is it just me? Because, yeah, that should have been private, number one. And number two, like, why would you involve, like, back and forth with the Whitaker story, the daughter, Whitaker's daughter, Whitaker's daughter, Whitaker. I lost track of who he's even talking about. And you got to keep like listening for clues of who he's talking about now. And it was so hard to follow. But why involve them in a message to your daughter? Anyway, asking for a friend. Anyway, just how bizarre. And does anybody think that's acceptable for him just to say, you know, I don't like it. If I can't just drive off with you, even though you've never seen me since you're a baby, if I can't just drive off with you and take you to our compound unattended, then I'll just meet up with you when you're older. I don't know. If I don't see how his audience accepts that. Anyway, so good to see Brooks and Gardens tonight. Like I said, I hope you had a wonderful day. Brooks and Gardens is right up my alley. All right, I picture like a bubbling brook in a garden. Tie-dye Gammy, good to see you tonight. Welcome. Hope you had a great day. Hope everyone had a good Tuesday. We got a gigantic spider on one of my security cameras right now. Oh, he dropped. He basically was leaving that video was a message to his daughter that she should know that he loves her very much. And when she's old enough, she can run in his arms and you know how much I loved you. Okay, I thought so. It's kind of what I said. Yeah. But like I said, then why make it public? That's kind of what I thought it was. But why make it public? And why keep flip-flopping back and forth between the Whitaker story and her story? It should have been spent to her, about her, and private. I mean, it was a mind twister to try to follow it. It's like, it was hard to follow. Very, what they can. Not good. But yeah, poor kid. Yeah. Oops. Okay. Hello, Tie-Dye Gammy from Alicia. I guarantee that daughter will grow up to resent him no matter how hard her mom tries to keep it mutual. She will resent it. Well, yeah, anybody would. Anybody would. And then on top of it, to find out he had a big YouTube show all about trying to get the rights of getting your own kid. Like, that's gonna not go anyway. I feel bad for any kid that's abandoned by the parent. Okay, so what do you call a parent who walks away from the child voluntarily and doesn't pay a dime of child support? What's the nickname for that? What's the term for that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he voluntarily abandons the kid, and he allegedly, that hasn't paid not a penny of child support. How about dropping some toys off or a bicycle or anything? Christmas presents, anything. I mean, even without child support, maybe some gifts or something. I mean, anyway, yeah, that's just weird, and to do it publicly like that, just wow. But yeah, I guess the hint of what it was about is the picture on the front of the thumbnail, because yeah, it was hard. Yeah, that was weird. Guarantee, yeah, okay. This thing's all over the place. Yeah, that video was stupid and pointless. So stupid, pointless. Yeah, it was. It's embarrassing, actually. That is embarrassing. I would probably make sure I never showed the kid. Well, maybe you could, just to show how ridiculous he was. Actually, yeah, I'd hang on to it just to show how. So, yeah, when she gets older, if she has any question. Yeah, you're right. Actions speak louder than words. Sounds like a growing away. A going away video. Yeah, it was a going away video from somebody who's been away. Kids grow up fast, man. Bam, bam, and all of a sudden they're getting married. I mean, so. And yeah, at 18, so at 9 years old, your kid is halfway to adulthood. Thank you, Miss January. I appreciate that. Thank you for the gift. You thought I was going to say something else, right? Me? Hold on a second. I'm missing comments. I got to get my phone. Let me read them on my phone. Let's see. Yeah, I think she should name her channel Mom Talk. It should be Mom Talk, man. I would. I think that's good. I plan to keep his name. Susan said so. I plan to keep his name in the search engines linked to keeping the Whitakers money. Yeah, I mean, I doubt there's any money left, but yeah, for sure. Why is he not being held accountable for that? Either he's gonna get off because something we're not privy to, or they're doing an investigation. It takes time. It's one or the other. It's gonna be one or the other. Hard to tell right now which one it is. You know what I mean? Did you say out of the world? Where's out of the? Oh, there's out of the wilderness. Good to see you tonight. Hey, good to stop by out of the wilderness. A very old time friend. Hey, good to see you, friend. All right, I'm on my phone now so I can see the comments better. Let me just read hers. Hi, Kathy. I'm just coming in. I feel like people are forgetting about Patrick's handness. Patrick knew that Eric was Yeah, I know. I've reminded people. Grifting. Patrick came along for the grifting ride. He did. I totally agree. And I think I have I've definitely mentioned that way more than once, that because I agree that Eric couldn't have done it without Patrick's help. That's for sure. Especially setting the whole emergency thing in motion with the fake eviction and the fake drive-by, all that. Yeah, no, I certainly haven't forgotten. The only thing I give Patrick a break for is that he's being held accountable. He's been arrested. Now, I don't get, you know what? Somebody said he's not been charged with the 11 felonies. Isn't that what the paper said? But yeah, I mean, he's been charged. He's out on bail. At least he's being held accountable. That's what I, I think that's why I go harder on Eric, because he hasn't been held accountable. But how can he be arrested and given all that $150,000 bail if he hasn't been charged? How the hell does that work? You know what I mean? How can he have? Because somebody was saying he hasn't been charged. I don't get that at all. I don't get that. Yeah, so no, I don't think Patrick's. I haven't forgot what he has done. In fact, I've mentioned it. It's Brandon. All right. I think somewhere around here I left off. Eric, if you're watching, you're a big dirty doo-doo, and I hold you responsible for all the Whitakers split, and your daughter is never gonna love a womanizer. Yeah, he's got a few baby mamas. And I don't think none of them have been real. I think them have been a bumpy road too. Allegedly. Yep, brain dead. He did that for his viewers, not her. Oh, absolutely. It was all for the viewers. It was for show. Yeah. Anyway, good to see you tonight out of the wilderness. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Oops. This thing's touchy. Oh, that's better. Yeah, about the donations, yeah. And you know what, right now, I think it's just way too awkward for him to, I think it's way too awkward for him to ask for any donations or, he can't open a GoFundMe. Now, somebody said he had some issues and he's no longer allowed to run a GoFundMe. I don't know if that's true or not, but I could definitely see it, because I think there's some like strict rules. I don't know nothing about GoFundMe, but I think there's like some strict rules. But I don't know. That guy Scar in the Woods, he's on like his third one, and he's been spending the money for something he didn't say it was for. So I don't know, he seems to be getting away with it. But I don't know if Eric can or not, but I think it was just he didn't want that paper trail. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly, Susan. Deadbeat. You not thought I was going to say something else. Okay. Yeah. He chose. Oh, hey, Always Faith. Good to see you tonight. And Red Frog. Good to see you too. Red Frog and Always Faith. He chose not paying child support over relationship with his daughter. Just my opinion. Then he chose to be a daddy to Timmy. The love of money, the root of all evil. That's right. And you got the saying right too. The saying is not money is the root of all evil. She's got it right. It says the love of money is the root of all evil, not the money itself. But yeah, isn't that crazy? Walks away from his daughter and then tries to adopt somebody 5 years older than him, who's almost 50. Yeah, I know. And boy, did he fight hard for Timmy, didn't he? Remember he was almost crying. He said, now I know what it's like to adopt somebody. Like, wait, what? The name is Liar and Showman. Yeah. Yep. Brooks Garden on family vacation this week with my side in-laws was end of May. We do it every year because our parents age. That's really nice. That is really nice. I love them family traditions and stuff like that. It means a lot. You don't know, when you're going to see anybody next, or if you are. So anyway, that's awesome, Brooks. I'm really glad for you and your family. Have fun. Good time here to get out and have fun, huh? I personally had something similar with my ex who had a YouTube channel. It was a show for his viewers. Really? That's terrible. For somebody to have a platform like that and be trashing your ex-husband or whatever, that's terrible. I can't even imagine it. Wow. You'd almost have to have your own channel to fight back, you know what I mean? I don't know. It'd be tempting not to have your own channel and try to, but then, yeah, it's exhausting, isn't it? Well, thank you, Miss January. Sent flowers for 30 and sent thumbs up. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Miss January. Thank you for that. Not my monkeys. And he got 13,000 from his grandma when she passed and never helped Sarah out. No money for his baby. In fact, he made it a point to evict her, so she had an eviction on her record to make it impossible. Well, it's funny. Allegedly, he knows all the tricks, doesn't he? He knows all those tricks, how to screw somebody over. And you know what, boy, I sure hope he's brought to justice because, well, let's just say, I hope he's held accountable. If Patrick's being held accountable, he needs to be held accountable. Yeah, impossible to find a rental, right? Because, yeah, if you get eviction on your record or whatever, I don't know how long it takes before they stop holding it together. But I know they hold it against you. I don't know for how long, but so what are you going to do? In the meantime, you gotta compromise and probably settle for something less than, just make it really hard on people. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't had that, but I've seen somebody, and there's people on YouTube who have evictions on their record, and they have a really hard time. That's terrible. And you know what? You're not just doing it to the mother, you're doing it to the kid. It's going to be hard for your child, the mother of your child, to find, some type of housing for your child. Wow. To me, it's really cold-blooded. He should never be allowed to handle donations ever again. I agree. Well, I hope he would be investigated. You know what I mean? I hope he's being investigated because it just seems odd he's getting away with this and other alleged things. Eric said in his videos, Patrick knew nothing about all this social media stuff to generate money. He says, that's what I do. There should be icing on the cake. Yeah, exactly. He said, this is what I do. I know how to make money. And you know what? Everything would be it's like one of the movies where just one thing that happens alters history. So instead of the projection that he was on, that he's doing Timmy videos, if Patrick just would have gotten help to get on YouTube, even just YouTube, along with Facebook, and figure out show him how to monetize, maybe a friend or somebody around him, there would have been no need for Eric to come into the picture. He'd say, hey man, I can make it better for you. No, actually I got a friend that's showing me how. Yeah. Think how different the whole world would be. The Whitaker world, at least. It would be a different story. Now, hopefully it would have been a good story, but we won't know. Never know. Because, it was thrown off the trajectory or whatever. Yeah, people think the investigation is over. It's still on. Yeah, they never said it was over. You heard what they said when I called. She sounded like she was sick of talking to people. Actually, I don't know if that or nobody's calling, but it was, I don't know. She didn't like me calling, that's for sure. Charged, not indicted. Oh, thank you, Susan. Okay, so Patrick was charged, but not indicted. So what? It has to be brought to the grand jury? Is that what happens? I don't get it. How do you get charged but not indicted? Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand that stuff. I don't understand it. It's pretty much his business. And why hasn't he heard anything about any court dates? Yeah, right, not my monkeys. It's weird. It's almost like it's like they put Patrick on ice for now. And then everything just comes to a stop, including his stuff. That's just weird. It's weird, I tell you. Eric is the only person who declared the investigation. Well, and his buddy Jeff, to be fair, Jeff Morgan said it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. His father, he's the son of a pastor. His son of a pastor. It's ridiculous. Oh, it's for media purposes. Okay, media purposes only. So yeah, to be fair, it was both Eric and his friend Jeff Morgan that declared the investigation over. But they need to go down and call. They need to call. What they're going to have to go ahead and do is call Gilkerson and let him know. Those two need to let Gilkerson know that the investigation's over. That'd be great, because he needs to know that, so he can tell us, right? Since he isn't pleading guilty, they're looking at the evidence. Not right. They're hoping for just a quick slam dunk. Yeah, it's just my opinion, but I think West Virginia State Police jumped the gun charging Patrick, and they have a weak case. Interesting. Good to see you too. Yeah, good to see you. Hope all is well. Brooke says they may not have a case if Eric helped him get him charged. You mean not a case on Eric? See, that's a possibility. But I heard sometimes somebody like Eric will squeal on somebody like Patrick, hypothetically. And then once they get somebody like Patrick, hypothetically, then they would just turn the tables on somebody like Eric and charge him too. You know, sometimes they just say stuff. Like, just tell us the truth. You'll feel better. I mean, you know how many, I love those interrogation videos on YouTube where they're interrogating the criminal, and every single one of them should have just shut up and said, I want a lawyer. And some will say, I want a lawyer, and then they'll say, okay, it's your last chance. And oh, okay, so you don't want a lawyer? You gotta say it. No, I don't want a lawyer. Okay. And then they think they're going to talk their way out of something. And I don't know, within that 30 minutes, they hung themselves. They give them all a bunch of evidence and a whole bunch of stuff. And some have been like life in prison or death penalty because they didn't know how to shut their mouth. So they'll let you talk and stuff. They're not they don't really promise anything. They promise you'll feel better. Maybe the judge will go easy on you. Maybe. And that'll never come up again. Yeah. What type of a person would want to adopt a stranger and totally ignore your own flesh and blood? That is bizarre, Susan. It's very bizarre. It was, like I said, if this was some type of a script, it would probably be rejected because it's not believable. And not only that, trying to adopt this total stranger that's older than him, almost 50, that doesn't want to be adopted, and the parents don't want to be adopted, who doesn't want to go anywhere, go to hell and high water, adopt him, but ignore your own flesh, walk away from them, and then open up a big YouTube channel and say that you're fighting for father's rights. Oh, you can't make it up. I think it's funny, actually. Well, I mean, not the part about the daughter. That's not funny. But you can't make this stuff up. That that here, just the part that Eric doesn't think there's anything wrong with what he's doing. I guess that's the funny part. How he doesn't even get what's wrong with what he's doing. And that's when it's a lost cause. So yeah. Yeah, that is so weird. A peg Susan. They found 16 kids in a house of horror in Ohio. Most nonverbal authorities should contact Eric and translate. Yes, get Eric down there. Maybe teach them how to care for their needs. Yeah. Yeah, he can show them how to rub lotion on their knees and translate for them. Yes, Eric, get Douche and Jeff on the line and Robert Mass and head out to where? Ohio? That's close to Robert Mass. You guys pack some suitcases, head over by Robert Mass, and I think he's in Ohio, isn't he? I don't know. Wow, yeah, we need Eric on the case. Oh wait, don't give him any ideas, Alicia. Don't give him any ideas. I've been following that case, Alicia. That's crazy. You just never know. Oh, girl, he had a number of videos about his divorce and the light at the end of the tunnel. He never named me by name, but geez, the comments that were giving the thumbs up. A girl and a number of videos about his divorce. I don't know who that is. I'm so tired of hearing Eric's cry voice. Yeah. Do y'all notice how he makes his voice sound like he's about to cry? Yes. He did that all the way with the Whitakers. Oh, bad acting. His quivering voice is pure manipulation to convince people that he's a victim. You know what? In my opinion, he's always plays the victim. Always plays the victim. Yeah, and he's got it down. He thinks he's got it down to a science because he does the quivery voice like he's gonna cry. I could make a whole compilation of him. You know what I mean? With some violin music. Yeah, you're right. It is pure manipulation. And you know what? It works for a lot of people. Some people actually believe him. They're going to cry. He tried so hard. Said out loud, me too. Very sad. I think Eric is realizing something big is coming. Yeah, I think that's why. Yes, exactly. That's why he looks stressed out. That's what I mean. He didn't look well. He looked like he's been stressed out for a while. Eric the ice cream man. Yeah, isn't that weird? Because I thought maybe he drove like a semi truck, right? To like grocery stores from the factory, right? No, he was talking about getting up early before the ice cream melts. It's like one of those Mr. Good bars or whatever. Remember he used to pedal the thing with the cooler in front of the bike? Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. But I think he really was. It was probably with a white hat and the white jacket. I think the videos to his daughters was a goodbye video. He may realize he's going off the book. Wow, that's a good one there, Alicia. It could be. I still don't know why he put it public and mingled in a bunch of Whitaker and miscellaneous stuff. I think there was even stuff about Patrick in that video. I don't even know. I got lost so many times. It was mind-bending to follow it. Yes, I don't understand it either. I was arrested and didn't get indicted until a year after. What? I thought when you get arrested, you go to court. I don't get that. I don't get that. So is that like for felonies? Gosh, I don't remember. I think I've known a couple people that had felonies. I thought they just got arrested and then saw the judge. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get that at all. So you're arrested and not indicted. What does that even mean? You're put in jail? Gosh, that is confusing to me. A second. So arrested means put in jail, right? The handcuffs and stuff, and then you got to bail out, and then what? They indict you and knock on your door, or what? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get how that works. I think it's important to remember that Betty and Larry claimed Patrick never gave them any money, but Betty also lied and said Mark never gave her any money. Well, I'll tell you what my opinion on that is. I think when Betty said Mark never gave us no money, I think she misunderstood what Tyler Oliveira said, or whatever his name was. Tyler Oliveira was the way he questioned it was, Betty, did you get the money for the house? And Betty said, what money? Like, I think in Betty's mind, she thought that there was some big lump sum, like 100,000. You know what I mean? He did not say, Betty, have you gotten any money from Mark Leda? He didn't say it like that. He said, Betty, did you get the money for the house? And I think that's why she misunderstood, huh? What money for the house? Because they know there was they're trying to get like 100,000 in the house or something. So the way he questioned it, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. What was the other part? Oh, stop, don't stop. So when Betty and Larry got interviewed, I think it was the Sun, SUN, the Sun News, and there was another news people that got a hold of them when the family got taken, and that's when Larry said, remember they came right up on the Whitaker's porch, and they got that picture of Betty kind of peeking out the door or whatever, or cracking the door open. They got Betty right at the door. These people, these news people, I think it was the Sun. One of them news places went up right on the porch and asked them. And I think this was after. I think it was when the investigation opened, like a week after the family was taken, or something. You can look it up. But it was not long after the family got taken. And yeah, so they're asking them, yeah, Betty and Larry, did you ever get any money? And pardon me, but Larry says, we didn't get a goddamn thing. And then the article says they do admit that they were got groceries a few times. So that's what Betty and Larry said. They did admit they got groceries a few times. That's what they said. So they didn't say they didn't get absolutely nothing. They said they got groceries a few times. That was in the article, The Sun. And there was another one that I always that I've brought up before. So yeah. So yeah. Now, I'll tell you who lied about the money. BJ did lie. She lied. Well, actually, she was pretty forthcoming. She said she basically smoked it up and all that when push came to shove. Oops. At least she did admit, but she did lie that her dad died and tried to get $300 or something for some funeral money, and then money for funeral clothes for everybody or something. So that was a flat out lie. But yeah, if you go back and look at that, that video, where Tony or Tyler Oliveira puts a microphone in her face and said, "Hey, did you get that? Did you get that money for the house or something like that?" And Mark Latta said it was just a total shit stir. You know what I mean? He was just a shit stirring, which was obvious. And that's why he did when he, even his own, everybody came in. It was like the worst thing he could have done because he got a lot of backlash. Hey, Red Frog, good to see you. And he got a lot of backlash, and even his own subscribers started unsubscribing and stuff. And so he came out with an apology, and it was a non-apology apology. He was sitting on the toilet with sappy music, and he was just, it was half mocking, you know what I mean? It wasn't a very sincere apology. So that kind of made him look even worse. So I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah. So if you go back and look at that, watch the way he didn't say, "Have you ever gotten any money from Mark?" He said, "Did you get that money from the house?" So she's probably thinking some big bundle of 100 grand, So anyway, you could look at it two different ways if you go back and look at it. Oh, and Eric did drive an ice cream truck, a neighborhood creepy ice cream. Oh no, with the music playing. That is creepy. I mean, I get it. Somebody's got to drive it, but why does it always have to be people that are questionable? Yeah, I don't get the indicting thing. So what does that mean? That they're working on it? I mean, I don't get it. Yeah, that's weird. So if they don't indict him, does he get all his money back? Yes, I don't understand either. Okay, I don't get that. What? How does the gatekeeper know when Patrick's next court date, but Patrick doesn't? Really? He knows when the court date is? Nazarene, how ironic. Yeah. Hey, Skeeter, good to see you. And Rachel, good to see you tonight, Rachel and Skeeter. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. Skeeter, hi. Grace, thanks. Dear Jane says, I wonder if St. Eric's stigmata ever acts up. Well, yeah, I think he's got a lot of things acting up right now. AD is already grifting about the Ohio case, as is the gatekeeper. As is the gatekeeper. Wow. About the Ohio case, the kids, the nonverbals. Yeah, I think that's probably Eric's probably got his eyes on that too. I mean, didn't it just happen? Do they even know it enough to even talk about it? Because I thought that just happened. Was it today or what? Anyway, I don't think there's enough to even talk about right now, is there? Or what? Eric is about to break from the guilt. I don't think he has guilt. I think I agree he's about to break, in my opinion. That's what it looks like. But I don't think it's from the guilt. I think it's about to break from the stress of thinking that the long arm of the law is about to catch up with him. Yeah, I don't think he really is capable of guilt. I just don't. Because otherwise, you guys, he would have apologized about something. He's never apologized about anything. Nothing's his fault. So if nothing is ever your fault, even though 100,000 people can say it is, no, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. That's somebody without guilt. Yeah. Edie actually found something to talk about. You mean besides Saudi? Kathy, oops. Kathy, when I was a kid, I loved seeing the bicycle ice cream. Yeah, that was like Mr. Goodbar or Goodman or whatever. What was this, Mr. I don't know. Ice cream. Yeah, we had the one. We had the one with the with the music blaring. And boy, even the ice cream man has gotten really expensive. Shoot, I can't remember, but a while back, it's been years because there's no ice cream man up here. But um, when I was closer to a larger city, there was, and yeah, that thing was loud. Played the music. It was like a small little you know, a little box truck kind of. Yeah, I liked it. My kids always begged for money when the ice cream man came. You could hear him coming. Oh yeah, but now it's really expensive. Like, dang, you buy a whole box of popsicles for that. I think you get charged by the police when the prosecutor decides what charge you'll be indicted on. Well, but they already named the charges. That's what's confusing to me. They've already named his 11 charges, his felonies. So, I mean, are they going to weed those out and then decide? Or because, yeah, they've already, specified his charges, all 11 of them. So, yeah, I just don't get that. I don't get why some felonies seem to just go through the court and then other ones are indicted. I don't get it. I guess I'll have to wait and see. Yeah, Red Fog. Dear Jane, good to see you. I really enjoyed listening to you on Kathy's show. Can't wait for more. Yes, Jane has agreed to come back. So her and I are going to talk, and we're going to I'm going to do something to try to fix my microphone. That's for sure. And so yeah, and then and she might get a microphone too. So we're going to work on the sound. And believe me, you guys, she's got a lot. Okay. Oh, she could come back a lot of times. That's how much stuff she has. She has sent me pictures, you guys. Unbelievable. Yeah, so she's got a lot of really cool stuff. Yeah, well, thank you, Miss January. I think she did a great job. Say it's right. In my Ohio neighborhood, as a kid, our ice cream truck came down our street in the evening, not in the morning. He said he started working at 4 a.m. Those are weird. You know what it is? Because ours always came like after, you know what ours came? Around dinner time, like after dinner, like 6 o'clock. It was like after everybody ate dinner and the kids were outside playing, then the ice cream truck would come. Yeah, like 6, 7 o'clock at night. And it didn't even get dark till 9 or 10. So yeah, same here. It was usually after dinner time. That way the parents are home, they got the money, you've already eaten supper, it ain't gonna ruin your dinner, all that. All the excuses are out. Yeah, 4 a.m., that is weird. And what, before the ice cream melts? Like, ice cream trucks have freezers in them. That was a weird ice cream job. Alicia drove the big trucks to, oh, okay, that's what I was wondering. He said Mayflower, CDL, so, but still, here's what doesn't, hold on a second, I just screwed up here's what doesn't make sense to me is, why would he have to hurry before the ice cream melts? Because if he's driving a commercial truck, a CDL, they got refrigerated trucks, ice cream semi-trailers have freezers in them. They're called reefers, and they're refrigerated, they're freezers. Yeah, I'm very familiar with it. So yeah, they're frozen. Those commercial ice cream haulers are they're like rolling freezers. They don't have to hurry before the ice cream melts. That was so ridiculous. That's why I said that can't be a commercial vehicle, because yeah, there's unless your reefer breaks, I mean, then it starts melting. But that, he said like every day, so that's not the case. Anyway, I thought that was so. That was confusing because there's nobody driving commercial ice cream trucks hauling big rig ice cream that doesn't have a freezer a trailer with a freezer in it, refrigerated. Huh. That's just weird. Anyway, AD took down the post with the Whitaker pictures, but the video with him showing the pictures is still up. Yeah, Susan. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah. But I heard it has been reported, so I don't know. I certainly would have never shown him for a multitude of reasons. 4 a.m. start may 4 a.m. start may have included stock in the truck with ice cream. Not sure if it was part of his duties or not. Well, usually the lumpers or the, thanks, Jenny. And Patrick said that the money he got from the GoFundMe when he got it shut down, took it and bought Whitaker some groceries. Yeah, because it was like $100 or something. I think he said what it was total of 200 or 100 or something. But he did. He said that they went grocery shop. And I remember that video on Facebook when they said that. Yeah, Tyler is a definite, yeah. Yeah, he was shit stirring. And that was for views, you know what I mean? To make him look good and Mark look bad. And the last thing you want to do is try to spar with Mark Leda. I mean, you'd be a fool to try to mess with him. I wonder if the pics of Whitakers are AI. No, I don't think so, Rachel. No, I don't think so. I mean, it's always a possibility, but I don't know. Okay, and I gotta say, everybody says, "Oh, they look so good." Okay, for one thing, you have no idea if they're happy or not. All right, because like I said, you can dress prisoners up in nice clothes and make them take showers and shave and stuff, and they look pretty good too. And they can be at the playing cards at their jail tables or whatever, and laughing and stuff. It doesn't mean that they want to be there or they don't want to go home. But I just got to say, besides the clothes and the shoes, how did they look better? To me, Lorraine looked the same, just different clothes. And Lorraine was proud of her clothes. She had those blouses that Mark always complimented, right? I like your blouse. She always dressed up nice. She dressed like an old lady dresses. Blouses and pants. You know what I mean? So besides the clothes and the new clothes and the new shoes, how did Timmy look better? And how did Lorraine look better? Now, people say, "Oh, Ray looks better." Well, no, I don't know. Look at his face. I mean, maybe a little bit of weight he's gained. Could be side effects of medicine. Who knows? But I mean, seriously, tell me how Lorraine looked better and Timmy looked better. And by the way, when Timmy had long hair when he's sitting on the porch at Whitaker's, people thought, "Oh, what a shame. Look at his hair is all long. You should get a haircut." Okay, well, that picture, his hair was long. Probably the longest I've seen it. So if Whitaker's are bad for not cutting his hair, then how come these people aren't bad for cutting his hair? I mean, if I just looked at him quick, am I right? Did I see that right? Did Timmy not have long hair in that picture? Like the longest we've ever seen it. I think so, if I remember right. I don't have any copies of them. I didn't keep any. I just looked at them. That was enough for me. But yeah, so yeah. That's my question. How did they look better? Yeah. All right, let me get back to I'm kind of behind on these comics. All right. Yes, not my monkey. Patrick did say that. I mean to say guilt. Oh, guilt? Huh. I don't think Eric has the guilt in him, my opinion. Okay, Ohio case just happened about a week or so ago. kids aren't able to tell them much. It's going to take a while for the details. Wow. Okay, now those are the kind that need to be rescued, okay? Not the ones sitting on their porch for the last 60 or 70 years. Anyway, yeah, well, good. I'm glad they got him, but yeah. Yep, we're going to have to send Eric down there and Douche. They'll be, this is what they do, remember? They said that this is what they do. Hey, Kitten! Kitten's trying to climb up my kitchen shades. These kittens are a handful, I'm telling you. Yeah, they just used my my kitchen shades for like that military training when they're climbing up the nets in boot camp. That's what they got, kitten boot camp going on over there. Well, I'm glad they got him. Now, those are the kind of people they should be out rescuing. Not the Whitakers off their front porch, you know what I mean? In Eric's goodbye video, he stated that he was proud of what he did and he didn't care if people hated him for it. Yeah, isn't that something? That's what I'm saying. How can he feel guilty for something he didn't think he did? I think he really believes it. I think he actually believes that he did a good thing. Probably can't pin down exactly what good was, but I needed to do what should have been done a long time ago. Oh my God. Oh, really? Petting. Yeah, they look crazy. That's just what just showed you. Okay, so if you don't think you did nothing wrong, you're not going to feel guilty, and that's what I think where Eric's at right now. He can't feel guilty for something he doesn't think he did. People in Ohio case are actually from West Virginia. Oh, heck no. Really? That's a weird twist. Nonverbals. That is a weird twist. I haven't heard anything of it. I haven't heard anything about it. Speaking of GoFundMe, Kathy, did you get served your papers yet? No, I did not. We're waiting to hear. We need to know when they start the bailout, Kathy. Yeah, my GoFundMe. Yeah, so I've heard for months now they're about to serve me papers because I'm talking about Eric. And so somebody out there has decided for Eric that I need to be sued, or is it going to be a gag order? I bet it's going to be a gag order. We had a snow cone man in a Jeep also played Mario music. Really? In a Jeep? Snow cones? Oh. We don't see TNT in here tonight. I'm a little worried about TNT, so I hope she's doing well. Ty, if you're listening, we hope you're doing well. Mario music. I thought that family had moved around several times in Ohio, but was originally from Wisconsin. Well, yeah, they're probably trying to, stay ahead of people catching on. They're probably drawing attention to themselves constantly, and I don't know. So were they locked up like in a basement so nobody knew they even were there, or what? I don't know. We had snow cone man. Okay, that is really weird. I like snow cones though. My kids had a Snoopy snow cone machine. They also had a cotton candy machine. That was really fun. I thought that family had moved around. Okay, from Wisconsin to Virginia to Ohio. Maybe when people start getting suspicious, they, when you're putting trash out at the curb for like a dozen people, stuff like that. I vote for a mini series with Dear Jane. Yeah, me too. I want a mini series with Dear Jane. She's got enough for a mini series, absolutely. Susan, I seen they were from West Virginia. They're familiar though. Thought they were from your area. Really? Is it like a whole family? Or are they from different families? Were they like all kidnapped or something? Or are they their own kids? Eric claims he worked driving for Mayfield ice cream. Well, they got refrigerated trucks. I don't get why he's trying to hurry up for the ice cream melts. That makes no sense. They got freezer trucks, refrigerated trucks, and freezer trucks. I don't get I don't get that. That's a semi, which means people are loading pallets of ice cream into the back, probably with forklifts. Yeah, I don't get that. That makes no sense. But I think Sarah did say he was an ice cream man or something. That he drove ice cream. Or maybe Eric said, I don't know. It's so convoluted, I don't even know half time who he's talking about or what he's talking about. He like switched subjects and people every like 30 seconds. Hard to keep up. Some medication make people so exactly. Yep. A lot of those tranquilizing sedatives, steroids make people really puff up. But yeah, there's lots of medications that make people gain weight, and maybe even blood pressure medicine. I can't remember, but there's a whole list of medications that make people gain weight. So yeah, to me, his face looked about the same. Maybe his neck was a little thicker, but yeah, I don't know. Besides the new clothes and shoes, how do you think they look different? Describe it for me, please. That lady had like 3 or 4 sets of twins. Really? Was it their own kids? Or they take somebody else's? Sorry, kitten. Sorry, kitten. Lady in Ohio. He has rationalized his guilt away, even to himself. It sure looks. Yeah, I think so. You know, sometimes if you tell yourself something over and over, you'll actually believe it. Yeah, I believe Eric thought he was going to kick back and collect all kinds of money, and Patrick did all the work. When Patrick broke his leg, that was God removing him from the situation to reveal Eric. You know what? Yeah, Rachel. Did I say hi to you, Rachel? I think I did. Anyway, if I didn't, hello. Good to see you tonight. But yeah, I agree. In a way, Patrick breaking his leg kind of removed him from culpability of like I don't think he would have been invited to the Amish stuff for sure, because they can't. Eric, and who knows? You know what? Eric could have been lying to the other guys. They could be, but listen, if they're all in it together. Okay, thank you, Rachel. I thought I did because you came in with somebody else. But yeah, you know, if they, because they always work the same people. Eric works always with the same handful of his friends, and if they're, you know, planning and plotting things and Amish stuff, they're not going to want Patrick around. So I believe even without his broken leg, they would have aced him out of the whole thing anyway. Because listen, at any time, even if Patrick was in a wheelchair, Eric and the guys could have went right next door, you know, steps away from Patrick's Airbnb. They all could have grabbed their tumblers, 1 and 2, and they could have, with or without the straws, and they could have walked just steps away and gone and met Patrick. Hey, Patrick, yeah, this is my friend Robert Mass. Yeah, this is my friend Douche. This is my friend, I can't remember who else went. Robert's friend. They didn't do that. He never did that. So, you know, I think the broken leg was convenient for Eric. Well, for one thing, he was able to rush back and make it for part of the excuse why he had to come back. Because part of the reason he said he had to come back is Patrick broke his leg. He can't take care of him. And I'm thinking, so when do Whitakers need to be taken care of all of a sudden? I mean, Patrick broke his leg. He can't move. He can't take care of anybody. Like, that was weird because Patrick wasn't taking care of the Whitakers. What are you talking about? But he made it an excuse to rush back from home where he just got back the day before. Yeah, he had a plan and he was going forward with it, with Patrick's broken leg or not, in my opinion. 16 kids were in a 12 by 12 room, no running water, floors falling through corridors. Really? Was it their own kids they did this to? They didn't kidnap them, did they? I just don't get how they end up with 16 children. They had 16 children, but a bunch were twins or something, maybe. I just don't know anybody that would have 16 kids, especially this day. Yeah, I'm just wondering if they kidnapped some of them. Weird. It was their own kids. Oh, it was. They had 16 children. Wow. And if I'm sure after the first couple, they figured they didn't really like taking care of kids. They should just stopped. For crying out loud. They got so many places where you can, you know, get. I think every area has social services where she could have, gotten her tubes tied or whatever, a hysterectomy. If they didn't want, if you just didn't like taking care of kids on number 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever they decided. Medical care, especially for people in poverty, is free. So there's no excuse that she had to keep having children. It's just hard to believe one woman had 16 children. Huh. Well, it was their own kids. Sorry, I was washing dishes and feeding my freeloaders. I always put a big bowl of dry food out for my wild freeloaders. That's nice. Thank you, Jane, for doing that. Yep, I feed them on chair too. Yep, it's always good to hear. Weren't they hoarders too? That's what she said. Yeah, their house was messy or something. There's a record. There's a record that she gave birth to conjoined twins. What? That didn't survive. So they had more than 16, but at least 2 are named John and Jane Doe. That's weird. Oh my goodness, conjoined twins. So they had 18 kids? At least? How is that even possible? Then Eric had a lot. Then Eric had a lot to do, and I think he couldn't handle it and got APS to take all but Timmy. Timmy was the moneymaker. Yeah, hated a broken leg. Yeah, yeah, I believe that. I believe his goal was to get Timmy, and the rest were just collateral damage. I think it was. I personally believe that was the goal from the very beginning, from the very first visit. Because if you watch that interview where it says meet Patrick and Eric, remember that first interview where they were sitting there? Patrick said something like, I'll tell you exactly how it went. Eric asked Patrick, so Patrick, you got any kids? And Eric says, Patrick, so do you got any kids? And Patrick says, oh geez, you'd have to ask that. Then Patrick talked about this handicapped child that he helped raise from his ex-wife or something. And after they got done talking about the kids, after he got done talking about the kids, they said something about Timmy. Oh, you little shit. Come on. Anybody want free kittens? They're free. I'll meet you in town there, and I'll give you all of them. I forgot what I was saying. Little turds. So, I'm just reading your comments. Yeah, I lost my train of thoughts and they just knocked it. But thank God it was a plastic plate. Yeah, they're everywhere. Um, huh. Yeah, he has no guilt. Oh my God. Hold on. I just want to make sure they weren't going to get into something. Um, Holy crap. But yeah, it's really still really hot here. Dang. Um, Authorities said that livestock lived in better conditions. Oh my goodness. Kids were covered in feces and flies, one or two near death. Would they starve them? Yes, you said hi, Kathy. Oh, thank you, Rachel. I thought I did. On their arraignment, they listed the children by initials, except the last two were named. Were they over 18? Because if they have that many kids, there has to be a bunch of them over 18. Oh, I just can't believe one woman had 18 kids. If Eric really believed he did nothing wrong, he wouldn't have wanted immunity. That's true. That's a really good point. And I have mentioned that before too. That's a very good point. Right. Why ask for immunity if you don't think you did anything wrong? And remember, I read if you look up the definition, especially in West Virginia, that's what I specifically looked up. Um, what are the terms of naming somebody a suspect? And in order to be named a suspect, which Eric was, the police believe that they have enough evidence that that person committed a crime. Mm-hmm. They don't just willy-nilly name people suspects. They have to believe, the police have to believe that they have evidence that prove that that they're guilty. And that's why he wanted immunity, and that's why he reacted so strongly to being named a suspect. You know what I mean? And that's why they're usually announced that they're cleared. Even in the Nancy Guthrie case, I didn't even watch it, but I know that there was people that were like suspects and then they were cleared or something. Maybe it wasn't that case, but these cases happen where people are named suspects, like the family, ex-husband or whatever, and then they get cleared, right? So yeah, that's why I think he had such a strong reaction of being named a suspect, because that's not good. Innocence doesn't need immunity. Now he's sweating bullets, full panic, and he says he isn't talking about it anymore. Yeah, and you know what? Remember I did that video? Now I hate to say that he's watching my videos and reacting, but it seems like he always does, because I did that video not that long ago that said just because Eric hasn't been arrested doesn't mean he's in the clear. And in fact, I showed the way that the FBI works. They arrest the smaller fish first, and then they run him through the court system and see how they do, and that try to get information out of that one, offer that one a little bit more deals, and then they also kind of get a practice dry run on their case, right? And they find out what works and what doesn't. So when they go to get the big fish, they'll have the first one taken care of, and then they go after the bigger fish. And when I explained that, and I said, in the meantime, they let the big fish just keep swimming. And so what they do is they watch the big fish, and they they do wiretaps, and they do surveillance on the big fish, and they tickle the wires, which makes them speak and makes them panic, and like everything that Eric was doing. And so I think he saw that and thought, oh crap, I'm not going to talk about this anymore, because I'm telling you, I personally believe that Eric kind of spilled way too many beans trying to, just like in those interrogation rooms, they think they're so smart that they can talk their way out of this jam. And I think that's what he thought, was that he was going to talk his way out of it. And I think what happens usually is you hand them your own ass. Pardon my language. All right, Ty Digami. I'm gonna let you go in the background. I'm gonna go night night. Everyone have a great night. Yeah, you too. Thank you for coming in, Ty Digami. I appreciate that. Oh wait, okay. Um, I meant I hated that Patrick broke his leg. Yeah, that was a weird ending. Like those movies that have a weird ending. Um, I really believed he did nothing wrong. He wouldn't have wanted immunity. Yep. Okay. So yeah, I mean, just look at the change in appearance. Like every 2 months, it just you know, to me, it looks like somebody that's carrying a very heavy load right now. Not somebody who feels like they're in the clear, you know. And yeah, by the way, where is the money for the 100th time? Yeah, I mean, I hated that Patrick broke his leg at the end of the last Yeah, I get it. I get it, Rachel. Eric and Patrick have a few things in common. Both had their CDL license, and they both did the Whitaker family. Yeah, that is, and yeah, they do have a few things in common. Yep. The mom is 33 years old. No way. The mother that's got at least 18 kids is 33. How does that math work? How does that work? Even if she had them every exactly 9 months, I don't know. Don't they call those Irish twins when you have babies 9 months apart? Irish twins or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. The math on that is weird. Did she start when she was like 10 or 12? Yeah. Malignant individual characterized by grandiosity, a lack of empathy, an excessive need for admiration, and profound sense of entitlement. You got spot on there, dear Jane. Spot on. Every one of those. Exploiting others without guilt, deflecting blame on the and blame the victim. Blame Betty and Larry. Blame them. That's what I couldn't believe. He was demonizing Betty and Larry. I mean, he really first he turned everybody away against BJ, who has nothing to do with this story. You notice that? She's done nothing to do with this story. You never even seen her. She didn't say a word, but somehow he involved her and made her the bad guy. Then he turned to Larry and Betty against everybody. I mean, everybody against them. So then you're down to just the three, right? Yeah. The 18-year-old couldn't write her name. None of them had gone to school. It was a couple of his parents, couple and his parents, and all those kids that lived together in a small house. That's crazy. Were they born at home or what? I don't get how they're unaccounted for. Because normally, you have to bring your kid to school. They use victimhood or passive aggressive to gain, or passive aggression to gain validation. Communal narcissism. Individuals who seek validation and admiration by appearing highly virtuous, charitable, or help for the others. Wow, that's his resume right there. You got spot on there, Jane. Spot on every single word. Yeah, and he wants people to think that he's, holier than thou. He's a hero. Everybody would just be horrible without him. It's just like spot on every word. Okay, good night, Tie-Dye. Thanks for coming in. You were saying that someone called Timmy. Yeah, and they said, oh, you little shit. Thank you. Someone called Timmy. Someone called Timmy. Yeah, I don't even remember. But thank you, not my monkeys, for backing that up or remembering it. I was wondering how they knocked a plate on the ground. I was a little thrown off. Thank God it was a plastic plate. Actually, it's one of those old ones, like from the 50s, those like Bakelite plates that don't break. Forgot what they're called. They're kind of like the ones that they used to use for school lunches. Grace, I'm laughing too. Not my monkeys, your podcast. Yeah, right. Yeah, they threw me off. I'm going to tell you because, yeah, right now it's like kitty boot camp in here. Some are climbing the shades up to the ceiling. Some are up on my cabinet. I saw one come out of a drawer that had out of a kitchen drawer. Yeah. Well, I definitely absolutely called and told Gilkison that he needs to be watching Eric's videos because now Eric is trashing West Virginia State. Is he really trashing them? What does he have bad to say about them? I want to know. Yeah, I don't get it. Really? So he's trashing the West Virginia State Police and adult protection. Wow. Yeah, I don't get that. I'd like to know why, the reason. Susan always calling coppers on air. My Grace, I should be getting a salary. Yes, you should. At least some bonuses. Even when she's not. Yeah. Okay, wow, I just caught up on comments. Isn't that amazing? And you know what? Remember the cat stepped on one of my keys on my keyboard and it made the closed caption really tiny so you couldn't see it. Well, they must have stepped on it again and now it's back and it's really large, the closed caption. So I'm happy and I'm really trying to keep the keyboard away from them before they put it back to small print. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to. They're a handful, I'm telling you. They're cute though. They're like something that would be in a calendar. They're so cute. Yeah. Melmac was the plastic of the 60s. Yeah. I think 50s was Bakelite, right? The first plastic was Bakelite. And I'm pretty sure. And then Melmac. Yeah. Well, hey, Mary. Good to see you tonight. Welcome, friend. Saying that he had to do their job. Oh, you're kidding. Yeah, I think Susan, I think they did. I think they did use Eric. Which is funny because Eric used everybody else, in my opinion. I think Eric used everybody. Eric used the Whitakers, every last one of them. I mean, think of it. Every one of them he used. I feel like he exploited, in my opinion. He used, I think, his friends, or maybe they're probably all, they're willful participants, but, he used the audience, right? He used, thousands and thousands of people. He used them, and then he used adult protection and he used Patrick. He used Patrick. He used the court system. Who didn't Eric use? He's used everybody. So I think it would be poetic justice if they did turn around and use him. I mean, what comes around goes around, right? You put out what you get back. So if Eric thinks it's okay to use people, then why does he have a problem with West Virginia State Police and adult protection using him? Isn't that fair? Did he also call the state health board? He did have to teach the nurse how to do her job too. Yeah, I'm sure actually they bragged that Mark Douche actually got the entire emergency room staff sick with the flu or some kind of nasty bug, that they were all vomiting and diarrhea. And Douche proudly took credit for that. That after they left, everybody got sick, just like Mark was sick. He said, like, you ate some really bad Mexican. Okay. He goes, and everybody down in that emergency room got sick from him. I wouldn't even admit that personally. Anyway. Yeah. Who hasn't he used? You're right, and he's still using them. That's right, he still is. Yeah, he certainly is. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately that is true. Actually, I have this on Top Chat. I don't know if I missed any comments I had on Top Chat, so sorry if I did miss anybody's comments. Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad. And he used the Airbnb, and I was thinking, what's really the biggest shame is that everybody made money except for the Whitakers. Isn't that something? Everybody made money except for the Whitakers. In fact, the Whitakers actually were put out $500 for being thrown in jail on that copper in their backyard, which I personally probably would have pled not guilty on that, because uninvited strangers came in, scoured my property, and the next day I get accused of having copper in my backyard. I would have fought that. But nonetheless, BJ eventually got off with a $100 fine and a misdemeanor. I'm pretty sure it was reduced to misdemeanor. But it was $100 fine, no more jail, and yes, but they did put her in jail for a week and cost her $500. Cost Betty and Larry $500. But yeah, so everybody made money except them, and they even lost some money, some bail money. Hey, kitten. All right. Yeah, let go. I think Eric's obviously using the woman he's currently married to, because it seems like she keeps him up between his grifts. Yeah, I guess she works full time. Oh, hey, Italian girl. Good to see you tonight. Welcome. Hi, Kathy. Do you have the video where Eric talks about women only to bring a table up? Yeah, I do. You want to hear it? He's saying that he never said it. I would love for you to prove him wrong. Yeah, here, I'll bring it up right now. How about that? Yeah. I did about a 2.5-minute video on it, and it's still up right now, but I'll show you. First, he's on Dad Talk, and he's talking with Dwayne. And I don't know why I was watching it, but I was. And Dwayne first said, besides a vagina, what do women bring to the table? And Eric said, yeah, besides a warm, wet hole, what do you bring to the table? And then he claimed that, in fact, he held up his cell phone, and he said, look, it wasn't me that said it, it was this lady. And it was just a couple months ago in April. And so you had something in April where a woman said that, but no. I should put these things in a cage, man. But yeah, oh, thank you, Grace. She just put upstairs. Yeah, I'll show you. But he was blaming it on some lady who said it like a couple months ago. And I don't know if it was on Fox News or something. Or maybe it was an article. But he said, look, you guys are confused. This lady said it. I didn't say it. This lady said it. So here, I'm going to show you. And my video is called, I hid my keyboard. The video is called Dwayne and Eric Speak Vulgar. So I'm going to type in vulgar, because it's the only video that I have the word vulgar in. And then it comes up, and it's only like a 2-minute video. In fact, I'm talking for the first couple. All right. So I'll bring it up. I'll just listen to you. Wait, do I have him on video? I think I do. Yeah. I'll show it. Hey, you kitten, stop. All right, I'll show you. Oh, all right. So I put it in vulgar. Eric and Dwayne talk vulgar about women. Birds of a feather flock together. Warning. I think it said bad language or something like that. Oh, they're trying to get a moth that got in here. You're kidding. These kittens are trying trying to get a moth. All right. No, I do have it. It's not a very good recording, but it's a recording. Okay, I'm gonna turn the video on. Hold on a second. I'm gonna turn this on. Oh, my phone's hot. All right. Oh yeah, I have it. Let's see. I think my phone's backwards right now. All right. All right, I'll pull it up. And yeah. Oh. Sorry about that. All right, I'm back. So here it is. And it is Dad Talk. That's what they're on right now. Dad Talk. And so at the beginning I talk a little bit, so let me get past that part. Filthy Dad Talk myself. So that's the human thing. I have no substance to a relationship.
Let's go ahead and aside from that, what do you bring to the relationship?
Besides from a vagina, here, let's try the closed caption. Oh, see how big it is now? Look how big the closed caption is now, because the cat stepped on the keyboard again. They fixed it for me. All right. Dad myself. So that's the human thing. I have no substance to a relationship.
Let's go ahead and aside from that, what do you bring to the relationship? What?
Outside of the one level, what do you bring to the table? Have the vagina as a negotiating tool, they would bring no substance to a relationship.
Let's go ahead and aside from that, what do relationship? What? Outside of the one lit hole, what do you bring to the table?
Yeah. You can see that highlight. Okay. So he said the only thing that they bring to the for a negotiation is a vagina. And, you bring no they bring no substance into a relationship. Yeah, I'll do it again in case you missed it. Myself. So let's hear what they got.
And no substance to a relationship. Let's go back and aside from the vagina, what do you bring to the relationship? What? Outside of the one lit hole, what do you bring to the table?
Dwayne doesn't know.
The vagina as a negotiating tool, they would bring no substance to a relationship. Let's go back and aside from the vagina, what do you bring to the relationship? What? Outside of the one lit hole, what do you bring to the table?
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, he did say that, and this is let's see, I did this video September 29th, okay? He's trying to tell everybody that you didn't hear it from him. You heard it on this lady on the news that was in April of this year. So no, Eric, I think you actually coined the term. Okay. That lady's probably following your lead. Yeah, so that is dad talk. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what when this was? Oh goodness, I just saw what I said. I find it interesting that there's some old video there from Eric when he came back from his first trip with the Whitakers. Okay, this here, this was on Dad Talk after his first trip on Whitakers. Well, it is downpouring right now. I hope I put everything away. Yeah, so this is after his first trip last June. Remember I told you 3 days up there? Yeah. So yeah, that's what this was first. So if you want to see this little gem, go back to Dad Talk. It would have been about July 1st or 2nd. Yeah. Well, it would have been the first week in July. Let's put it that way. But yeah, there you go. Yep. So he didn't say that, huh? Yeah, just asked me because I have a file on Eric. I have a file on everybody, actually. Dwayne has his own file. They all have their own file. But yeah, this one is actually posted. It's like a 2.5 minute video or something like that. Oh crap. Let me get. Hold on a second. Yeah, so there you go. There you go. Yes, I did have that video. So that's what they said that they bring to the negotiation is a D, and yeah, the warm white hole was actually Eric's quote. Yes, he can own that and quit denying it. Quit denying, because I got everything on file, Eric. You're lucky you weren't married to me, okay? Well, I wouldn't have tolerated him. Hell no. Maybe in my younger days, but yeah. I got his crap cataloged. Yeah, so sorry about that. Yeah, I did black out that. I got the impression that she may have been one of Eric Baby's mama. Oh wait, what? Yeah, I got knocked off. I got knocked off the internet. Yeah, what does Eric bring to the table? A bunch of empty promises. I made a video one time of all the broken promises from the Whitakers. I mean, all of Eric's broken promises to the Whitakers. I made actually, I did the whole thing, and then I didn't really like it. So I did the whole thing over again. And, for one thing, the first one cut out at the end before I was done. So I did it all over again, and it had all the promises Eric made from everything from next time I come, I'll bring venison. Yeah, we're gonna bring you fishing. Yeah, we're gonna bring you to the doctor, Ray. Yeah, you're gonna see a specialist. Yeah, that never happened. None of it ever happened. Nothing. Nothing for the Whitakers except well, like the Whitaker said, yeah, we got a few bags of groceries and went bowling when I told him I didn't want to. Remember, he said, it was, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna get it. Yeah, it is still yours. Yeah, so there you go, Italian girl. Do you have the video where Eric talks about women who bring him to the table? Yeah, him and Dwayne. So yeah, well, Dwayne said vagina and Eric topped him and said, yeah, that. He said never said that, and I would sure love you to prove him wrong. There you go. Just did. Yeah, I could do a video on it. Oh, Eric definitely said it. Yeah, there you go. My question is, what does a man with no job bring to the table? Exactly. Nothing but melted ice cream from a job that he had years ago. And not a damn thing. Susan, exactly. What does Eric bring to the table? Absolutely nothing. Right, Grace? Maybe it. See, I caught that before I said it. I forgot what Dwayne's channel is called. Pissed off parent. Pissed off parent. I gotta find that video because I swear he was gonna start living in a camper or something. Okay, so I saw Dwayne next to an Airstream with this other guy, and they were talking about one of the two was gonna start living in that camper. It was like an Airstream, one of them, aluminum ones that look like a bullet. Yeah. Anyway, he may or may not be living in a camper right now. I don't know. Didn't hear it from me. I forgot. Yeah, anyway. It was that Betty that commented on a post on Facebook. Sarah showed it in her live. It was Betty. Who said what? In her comment section? Pissed off parent. There you go. Hold on just a second, please. Oh, that was me. I just read my own comment. Kathy, yeah, I did. I just got knocked into outer space for just a second. Oh, I just saw a video of a kid that got struck by lightning, but he's okay. I think they said 7 people died this year. I think 7 people died so far this year from lightning strikes. The kid was out like weed whacking under a tree. So the tree, attracted the lightning, and then his little lightning rod there. Because when you weed whack, you're holding a metal lightning rod, right? So yeah, boom. It was on Inside Edition or something. Kathy or Betty sees something. She was not a fan of Eric's either. Yeah. Same person. I got the impression that she may have been one of Eric. What? Where did you see her at? Betty C. Where did you see her at? Because remember, yeah, he said he's got other baby mamas that he's, well, at least one other that he's not friendly with. Huh. That'd be interesting. It would be really interesting to have another baby mama come forth, right? Remember that story, and I'm not even sure if it was true, but those 33 coal miners that were trapped underground. Remember that years ago? They had 33 coal miners that were trapped underground. I don't know, something caved in the shaft or something, whatever. And so they had this big rescue mission, kind of like baby Jessica getting out of the well, right? So like days they had this all these people trying to rescue the coal miners. And when one of them came up, he had the wife there, but he also had the mistress there. That was awkward. Anyway, it kind of seemed like staged. I don't even know if that was real or not. But yeah, that was weird. Sorry, Eric. My vagina is not a bargaining chip unless you have diamonds in your dick. Don't think you're working. Yeah. I mean, I think that clip of Dwayne and Eric says a lot what they think about women. I mean, that's their negotiating tool. I mean, some guys might think that, you know what I mean? If they go on a date, you know what I mean? Oh, that's her negotiating tool. Okay. Anyway, it just shows you what they think of women. Both of them. Dwayne, I don't think was any better. I think Dwayne was maybe a little skittish with the last, Eric's, thing he got involved with. Oh, and did I tell you guys? I think I might have. Did I tell you guys that Dwayne from Pissed Off Parent, remember he made that disparaging video of both Eric and Patrick, really, and the Whitakers, assaulted everybody, threw them all under the bus. Did I tell you that he actually edited that video and edited all the parts where he trashed Eric? Yeah, I don't know what happened. But so now at the beginning, it's really it just like jumps in like partway into the video because he spent about the first 3 minutes trashing Eric, and now that part's gone. Hey, Joanna, are you watching my videos too? If you are, let us know if you're living in a camper. That'd be interesting. Yeah. She's Canadian? Oh, the other girl? Yeah. Supposedly. Has Dwayne ever went public about leaving Eric as a friend? No, he did put that video out, how I'm never going to help anybody again. And he was trashing Eric, and now it's all edited. But you know what? I am almost sure I have that whole video in entirety. Here, let me look real quick. Let me look in my files, because I think I have the uncut version. Let me just look. Dwayne, Dwayne. Dwayne Hall spins the story his way. Patrick gives Dwayne the signal. Dwayne agrees. Larry's being. Wow, I've in my file on Dwayne, it says Dwayne agrees with Larry being blackmailed to do a restraining order with. Yeah, so in this video, one of these clips, I got Dwayne saying, yeah, it's good. You should blackmail Larry with that for the restraining order with the stolen gas. Okay, Dwayne Hall spins the story, what the Whitakers and the internet have taught me. And then on the thumbnail, it says something like, I'm not helping people anymore. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I have the whole thing. I have, yeah, anyway, I'm going to have to review that. I'm going to find out all the parts he cut out. Yep. Let's see. Lost my phone. Here it is. She posted the warm, wet hole comment on the page. You know what? You know who else has this video? I'm almost sure. Is Patrick. I think at one time Patrick had that video on his channel. After their split. Hey, Susan says so much. You should ask Patrick because I'm pretty sure he had the warm wet hole video on his Facebook at one point. After those two split, had their falling out. Mm-hmm. In fact, that might have been where I got it. I don't even know. Supposedly, has Dwayne ever went public about? Yeah, and you know what? I was watching a dad talk podcast one time, and actually, Eric claimed that he has known Dwayne 15 years. So if that's the case, that would be long before Sarah. Because if Sarah was 8 years ago, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So he would have known Dwayne 7 years before he even met Sarah Little. So my question would be to Sarah was he really friends with Dwayne when you knew him? When you guys were together? And if so, what kind of a relationship was that? Because I don't know. It just seems shady, like because that was listen, because that was long before Dad Talk. Those two were supposed to be friends long before Dad Talk, long before Pissed Off Parent. Well, hey Kathleen, good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, she posted. I can't believe we're seeing and reading these comments. She posted the warm wet hole video on Facebook. Oh man, we're just repeating what he said. That's all. I don't think so. She's Canadian, huh? So yeah, that's about. And then he's retracted the Trash and Eric. So I don't know if those two patch things up, or if maybe he's scared of Eric. I don't know. For some reason, Eric or Dwayne edited that part out about him. It's funny how Eric says he has his person. Yeah, finally found a wife that won't make you work. In fact, he said that. He said she allows me to chase my dreams or something like that effect. Oh yeah, she's allowed me to. You go, honey. You leave. Go leave for another 10 months out of the year. Go chase your dreams. I don't know. Any wife that wants you to leave the house for 11 months out of the year, I'm not sure she likes you. I wouldn't want my husband gone 11 months out of the year. I don't want him gone 11 days. I want my honey here. Oh, that's right. But if you don't like him, yeah, then you want him on the road. Yeah, here, I'll pack your bags. Come home and I'll have your next bags packed. You can turn right around. And don't come home till you're off Suboxone. Yeah, he found his soulmate. She posted the warm. Okay, I read that. Sarah had it on her video. Did she really? She had the warm butthole comment on her video. All right, good. Because I think it says a lot about him and his little friend there, Dwayne. Yeah. Funny how Eric says he cannot get custody of his last daughter, but yet the podcast is about getting fathers right. Yeah, right. Can't make this stuff up, can you? It's ironic and actually just really weird. Oh my God, this cat is climbing up my lamp now. Let go. There. I'll show you what I got to deal with here. Yeah. Come on. Let me stinker. Yeah, here. Tell everybody what you just did, huh? You just climbed up a lamp. Now go. Quit climbing on stuff. This ain't boot camp, Marine boot camp. You would have heard, dang, I would have loved to hear that one from, well, I have it. I have it on video. I could play it. I've been here 2 hours. I don't want to go too long, but I could play it. One second. All right. Dang, I would have loved to hear that one from Dwayne. I have it, Italian girl. We could go over it tomorrow night if you want. I want to find out which other part he cut out. Because there's a few times he took a jab at Eric, but he also he insulted the Whitaker's porch. He said, "Oh, he had it was like him kind of almost dancing in the rain, and it was on Whitaker's porch. He did AI or whatever where he's dance on Whitaker's porch. Says, "Oh, I gotta get out of the ring. Maybe I'll come on this porch. Oops, I mean overhang." Totally insulting their porch. That porch served them. It was perfect for them. And so to like insult them for their porch, it's like, good grief. Let me see yours, Dwayne. Hope your camper's got a porch on it, if you have one. The uncut, I think I do. I may have spoke over it, but I know yeah, I gotta look because I'm almost sure that I videotaped the whole thing without talking, and then I talked over it on another one. But I'll double check. I know I haven't. I just here. In fact, let's see. Maybe I spelled Dwayne. His real name is Dewayn. Dwayne. So Dwayne. Dwayne. Dwayne Hall spins the story his way. That's pretty true. Here, you guys want to see it? You guys are going to be here for a long time if I pull this up. Otherwise, I'll just do it tomorrow night. It's 37 minutes long, and I think Dwayne's video was like 30 minutes. There was like 7 minutes of me talking. So it's up to you guys if you wanna go late. Yeah. Oh, here's what I should do. Yeah. Here's what I should do. I should end this live stream. Maybe start up another one with going because I don't really want 5-hour live streams. It's so hard for people to watch. So I could end this live stream and start it back up and go over Dwayne's. And let me see what I got going here. So it's midnight here. I could keep going. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got here. I think I got the whole thing uncut. They are like monkeys. They're everywhere. Eric showed her comments on his goodbye video. Could have been. Hold on a second. Wait a second. I missed a lot of comments. Dang, I would love. Okay, here's our laptop. That would be amazing if you had the uncut version. I think I do. I have it right here. Oh. Oh, he did cut it out. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got to see his real one. Oh, wait a second. Let me see this one. So I'm almost sure. Here, I gotta pull up his real. So the one that he's got now, I should look at the time. See what his time is in. Dwayne Hall spins the story. Whitakers, what the Whitakers in the internet have taught me. Hold on a second. Let me get your comments caught up first. Yeah. Eric's timeline seems to crisscross Sarah and the current wife. Well, Eric was saying that Sarah's child was 10 years old. You know, and the child, he said he's been going through this custody stuff for 10 years. And the little girl's only 8 years old, so I don't know if he had it mixed up or he's talking about somebody else. I don't know. But he couldn't have been battling it with this custody stuff for 10 years because the little girl's only 8 years old, and they had gotten didn't even split apart for 8 months. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's got his dates right. Sarah and Eric went to school. Yeah, she did say that. So Sarah and Eric are about the same age. think they did go to school together. She said they didn't really talk when they were in school. They didn't really meet till after high school, but they remember each other, or she remembers him from high school. There was a huge Facebook fight about that comment that Betty took a lot of crap over it. Which comment? Not my monkeys. I think I'm behind. Are you talking about not knowing where the house money is? Yes, Sarah and Eric went to school together. Yes. Grace put up Sarah Little's YouTube link to go to her page. I think Susan Said So was part of the back and forth with Betty C. Do you remember that, Susan? Oh, there's a frog hopping by right on the oh my gosh, you gotta see this. Oh, he just laughed. It's so funny. A frog just jumped right in front of one of my cameras. Hey, stop it. Oh my God. There. Remove the temptation. At least that one. I'm over here cracking up, thinking a perfect meme for Eric in his driving the Good Humor truck with weird warped. Yeah. With melting ice cream. Right. Yeah, you better get that out there before it melts. Like, no, that's not a commercial truck. Okay. Breyer's ice cream trucks don't have melting ice cream because they're not going fast enough. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's weird. The last video Eric did after Patrick and Sarah went live, there are no comments in the comment section. At Italian Girl, there's no comments in any of his comments. I think every single live stream has the comments turned off afterwards. So it says 0 comments, but I don't, maybe they're turned off. He either keeps deleting them or something, but I've noticed everyone that about the Whitakers, he's done that too. Because I always go back to see what the comments, like see what people said afterwards. I think he's so tired of deleting them, he just shut them off. Because, oh, dang it. You guys are a handful. Yeah, I think he just cut them off because there was no good comments. You know what I mean? And, there's people that get blocked during the stream and I don't know, whatever, the comment gets deleted. You can't stop the people that are trying to call you out. And so eventually what you got to do, you just got to remove all the comments. Otherwise, he has to keep looking at it every 20 minutes to see if something bad's on there, Yeah, they are great hunters. Actually, they're trying to get a moth that came in the house. So that'd be good. I mean, bad for the moth, but well, that's life. Eric showed her comments on his goodbye video. Huh. Yeah, my last words. Yeah, they are. Yeah, I think they're great hunters. I don't know. So far, they went after a moth. I think they're 8 weeks old or 9 weeks old. I don't know. But Eric was absolutely lying using Betty's comment as his lie that he didn't say it, that he did. Here, in fact, I'll show you guys, okay? I'm going to show you Tyler Oliveira saying it, okay? And I'm going to show you. Because remember, Betty's kind of simple-minded. I mean, no offense, but she's a little simple-minded. And if somebody told me, hey, did you get that money from the house that, did you get that money from Mark Laeta for your house? I would think that there's some big giant cardboard check like Ed McMahon coming, you know what I mean? I'd be like, no, where's my house money? He didn't say. He didn't say, did you get any money? So, I mean, it did look kind of rude and anyway, but if you think, All right, investigator Tyler Oliveira and the Whitakers. Yeah, I messed up. Here it is. Okay. All right. I'll pick this one right here. I'll find it. I have the video right here. It's Tyler Oliveira. He says, I messed up. And this is where he's gotten so much backlash. I'm going to turn it on. Let me find the spot where he goes in the house, okay? Because Tozy is interviewing this guy. Now let me see the part where he's in Betty's house. Because and by the way, when Tyler Oliveira, when he was going here, I'll show you. Cat's going to be in the way, but when Tyler Oliveira decided he's going to stop by the Whitakers, he got a hold of Mark Laita's secretary, and he says, "Is there any reason why I can't?" He said, "Is there any reason why I can't stop by the Whitakers? I'd like to stop by and bring them things." And the secretary said, "No, we have a contract with the Whitakers, and you shouldn't stop by." Okay, this is how low down this guy is. And so, and Mark later admitted that that was a lie. He didn't really have a contract, and in fact, these guys laugh and they go, right, because you can't make a contract with Whitakers because they're not all together or they're not all there or whatever. So they laughed that nobody should be making a contract with the Whitakers because they're not capable. You know what I mean? Here it is right here. Okay. And so he gets a hold of Mark's secretary, and Mark's secretary says don't go there. But he wasn't taking no for an answer, right? He was told that. When he was told, no, we have a contract, you can't go there. Well, he thought he wasn't taking no for an answer. So what he did, he ended up going to a family friend, and her name was Paige. He said he tracked down Paige. Now remember, Paige is a friend of the family's, and I'm pretty sure Paige was sitting in the kitchen during that Christmas, when they lit the Christmas tree. During that video, Paige is there, and she's sitting over by Kenny in the kitchen. I'm pretty sure that's Paige. But anyway, Tyler Oliveira got a hold of Paige. He said, "Hey, Paige, can you tell Whitakers we're coming or something?" Got a hold of Paige. I don't know if they gave her what they got out of Paige, but they ended up, Paige called the Whitakers and said, "Hey, somebody's coming over. His name is Tyler, and he's going to bring you some groceries." So Tyler Oliveira shows up with like 2 plastic bags from the grocery store. "Hey, Paige told us, that you're here and stuff." And he said, "What we did is because we got a technicality. I know that Mark, told us not to go there because they got a contract. But, what we thought is that we're in the area anyway. We were doing some videos, and we know that the Whitakers are elderly, and there's been a lot of snow and ice on the road. So we went there under the guise that it was a welfare check." Like, wait, what? Yeah, so he got around Mark by saying it's a welfare check. We're going to check on the Whitakers as a welfare check. And we got a hold of Paige, and they told him we're coming. So Tyler shows up there at the Whitakers, and when he shows up, it's only Betty and Timmy. And I think Ray. Okay. Larry was gone, BJ was gone. So he's sitting there with just, the most vulnerable people. So here, I'll show you. You decide for yourself. Oh no, this ain't even it. Oh no, this is the other one. This is when all right, so there's 2 videos. I know what this one is. because I made a video on this one. This is when Mark was there. Yeah, let me find the one where he questions them. And he's got Betty there by herself, just her and Timmy. And I think Ray's out in the yard or something like that. Yeah, so here's Mark's. Yeah, well, this is a Tozy. Oh, yeah, here it is. Here it is. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if the sound works. I know. Okay. Watch. Watch the way he questions it. Okay. So, oh. And they heard that Ray was dead. So he went under the guise of them doing a welfare check to get around Mark. All right. Let's see what he's got to say. Go ahead. What were you saying? Yeah.
We drop off the groceries. We basically do what is a wellness check because there's also these videos on the internet at the time that are saying Betty's dead, Ray's dead. There's some
Hold on a
channels
second.
spamming.
I'll back it up a little more. Listen to his bullshit story.
Virginia. I have no clue what's going on besides that you
Let him tell his little story here.
guardian. It's time for that almost. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess in my head, it immediately brought some questions to mind. What's going on here? Just like Mark did originally.
Yeah. And they said it's not like Whitaker's can sign a contract. They just laughed about it.
Considering us, but basically you can't film with them.
Can you hear
I wanna
okay?
establish just off the bat here, I have no beef with Mark. There's not some long-standing multi-channel history of multiple videos of us poking at him. But I definitely want to be honest and say from the get-go, that raised my suspicion radar. What's going on here a little bit?
Can you guys hear it okay? Is the sound okay? Can you guys hear it? Let's see. Let me know if you can hear it. Spell check. Yes, 18. All right. I remember BJ saying that she was the one who signed that. Yeah. Okay, you can hear it? Okay. Okay. There we go.
It's pretty atypical to hear of something like that, unless you're like a Hollywood actor or.
So he didn't believe that he had a contract with the Whitakers, right? All right, let's roll.
I have no beef with Mark. There's not some long-standing multi-channel history of multiple videos of us poking at him. But I definitely want to be honest and say from the get-go, that raised my suspicion radar. What's going on here a little bit? It's pretty atypical to hear of something like that, unless you're like a Hollywood actor. And also, if you watch The Family, it doesn't seem like something they could, consent to or consent or sign. Yeah.
See, they're laughing at the fact that the Whitakers would even be able to sign a contract, that they're not capable. And what are these guys in trouble for? Yeah, I mean, yeah, but Eric thought it was okay. Oh, I got
It
thunder.
doesn't seem like something they could, consent to or consent or sign. Yeah. They would need a guardian to sign for that.
There you go.
Yeah.
You'd almost need a guardian to sign for him. See, now these guys they understand. You know what I mean? Yeah, they can't. He's almost laughing at the fact that they could sign their own kind of. Yeah, you'd almost need a guardian. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I mean, I guess in my head, it immediately brought some questions to mind of what's going on here. Just like Mark did originally. I said, why don't we just go down there ourselves, say what's up? We found someone who built a relationship with them, checks in with them daily. We offered, hey, we're just gonna go bring some groceries down.
Paige.
Cool. She gives the information for the family. We meet up with the family. When we end up in West Virginia, I have no clue what's going on besides that email. And for all I know, because I think there was a month or two gap, there was no Whitaker update video on Mark's end. There's enough time to, there could be a house there when I showed up. That's brand new. For all I know. We show up. It's like in the same piece of crap house, basically. If you wouldn't want your grandparents living there. So my question is, I get this email that says, hey, you can't speak to these people or film with them. And
Shit. Cat just stepped on it. You kids breaking up? Yeah. When I read my content, yeah. I know. Because if I get too far behind, you guys are you're answering questions from 20 or I'm answering questions from 20 minutes ago. All right. So this is breaking up or what? Can you guys hear it? Can you guys hear it? Or what? Somebody says breaking up. Not good as breaking up. Hold on a second. I think most likely BJ and Larry, maybe. Well, I think later, my throat's dry. Later, Mark Lyda admitted there wasn't a contract. He said the only reason that I pretended that there was a contract is because the Whitakers don't need all kinds of people coming out of the woodwork showing up on their porch. And he was right, because look what happened. You know what I mean? And I swear that Eric said that they also tried to get a hold of Mark. And I heard two different stories about that. One story was Mark was busy because his girlfriend died and he was mourning. And the other one I heard Eric say is that they got a hold of him, and I don't know, there was some kind of a disagreement. So I don't know, I've heard two stories out of Eric's mouth. All right, so let me know if you can hear this, okay? I don't know what's wrong with the sound. I'm going to be getting a microphone and see if that helps, but watch. We'll try it again, okay? Because I want to make sure you guys hear this. It's okay. All right.
I know about these GoFundMes. Yeah.
Maybe I should slow it down, though. Might be on 1.5. Oh, it is normal speed. Never mind. He's just talking really fast. Sorry. My throat's really dry. So he's just talking really fast, but okay. I'm going to watch the chat, see if you guys can hear this.
The house situation is the exact same. So there's some disconnect there. So we drop off the groceries. We basically do what is a wellness check, because there's also these videos on the internet at the time that are saying Betty's dead, Ray's dead. There's some channel like spamming fake news of like the family members dying every month, according to this channel. It's also the middle of winter right now. West Virginia's, in snow. It's kind of up a windy road. It's a bit remote. These are old people we're talking about. The story takes a little twist, but we show up there. They're all alive. The house is in as much disrepair as it was previously. I asked them, what's going on with the money. This is what she says. How is the house coming along?
Shit, money. Okay. Here's where he talks to him. He says, sorry, the cat just stepped on the keyboard. What's going on with the money? This is what she says.
How's the house coming along?
How's the house coming along? She said, Betty says, what house? He says, let's see what she says, what house? And she says, how is the house coming along?
What did Mark say?
We hadn't heard from Mark about the house.
About the house. He wants to get an update.
Okay, now it's just shit stirring. He said, man, my throat's really dry. He said, what did Mark say about the house? Paige wants the update. And that's really underhanded, because Paige is the family friend. And somehow, because of the videos, he heard about Paige, and he looked up Paige, got her number, probably off the internet or something. And he got his foot in their door from Paige, right? And so he says, Paige wants to know about the update. She does not. Paige doesn't want to know about the update, you know what I mean? So this is just underhanded. Just low.
What did Mark say about the house? Paige wants to get an update.
Paige wants it.
Okay. Do you think he's...
Mark said we ain't got no more money in there. I don't know.
Okay.
And it's so funny, because if you look at Timmy in the background, he's got his hands on his hip, and I'm not sure who that is. That might have been the one, somebody that came with him. I don't even recognize who that is. But anyway, here's Timmy. Now he's got his hands on the hip, like he's kind of upset, like he's hearing maybe they might have got ripped off. But watch how he kind of lifts, he kind of goes up on his tippy toes and goes back down. Watch when he because let's get real. Tyler Oliveira here is trying to convince the Whitakers that they're getting ripped off. You know, he's here to inform them that Paige wants to know about the house, which is a lie. He says, yeah, you know, I think Mark, you know, all the money's gone. So watch Timmy's reaction because he's trying to convince the Whitakers that they're getting ripped off by Mark. Watch. You see him?
Like, I don't know, $50,000 or $60,000 in that? Has Mark given you guys an update? Okay. When's the last time you guys talked to Mark? The other day.
It should, okay. You had like 50 or 60,000 in there. When is the last time you talked to Mark? She said just the other day. Right. And the reason that there's 50 and 60,000 in there is because Mark said there was like 100,000 in there, right? But if you do a GoFundMe, 38% goes to taxes. So he had to leave in there $38,000. Okay, because that's how much they owed the IRS. So yeah, if you do a GoFundMe for $100,000, they're going to take 38%, which is a lot. That's headed towards half. You know what I mean? So he had to keep 38,000 in that count, and that wasn't for them. That was, yeah, it was their money, but it was the money for them to pay their own taxes on. So he said, so we didn't have a problem with the IRS. All right. So 38, 40. So there's, I don't know, a little bit left. But yeah, she's been talking to Mark every day. They've been getting money. And yeah, she just talked to him the other day. So Tyler, you need to just butt out. Quit blaming stuff on Paige.
When's the last time you guys talked to Mark? The other day? Okay. Okay, cool. Glad you guys are alive. Here's the groceries. I learned that about the GoFundMe. We did. And I basically leave with a bunch of questions of what's going on here.
How long were you there, if you don't mind me asking?
Probably literally less than
30, 40
40
minutes.
minutes.
Mhm.
Okay. If that's relevant.
Did you meet anyone else than what was shown in your video, or was it just the main? Because you didn't meet BJ and them, right?
We didn't meet BJ. We didn't meet Larry. We didn't meet any of the grandchildren that are mentioned.
Because he showed up unannounced. He got a hold of Paige. And like I said, in that Christmas video where they're lighting the Christmas tree, Paige is in there. And so he learned the name Paige. That Paige was a close. So you see, did it look like she lied? Does it look like she lied? And did it look like she said she didn't get any money? No, it didn't. If you want me to play it again, I'll play it again. But no, she didn't say Mark didn't give us any money. She said I talked to him the other day. We didn't know anything about it. So anyway, Betty's easy to confuse, right? And I think he went there to shit stir. He lied about Paige wanting to know about the house, which Paige probably didn't even know about the house, you know, whatever. But that was a lie. And he lied to get in. He said, well, you know, it's wintertime. We heard a bunch of them died and the roads are slippery. So we did it under the guise of a wellness check. So he's underhanded. I know I need my Tumblr #1. Oh, and you know what I bought the other day? Guess what? I was at the local gas station and they had, it's so old fashioned, you guys. They got those old fashioned pumps. And when you pull in, it goes ding, 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 because you run over the thing. It's so old fashioned, you guys. It's a tiny little town and they're stuck in, you know, decades ago, 50 years ago. But anyway, I go into this tiny little gas station. It's really cute. But anyway, they got like fish on the walls and deer heads and stuff. And I love that gas station. But anyway, they had honey at the checkout, local honey. And I think it, anyway, I bought some because somebody said when your throat gets dry, get some honey. So I did, and I'll show you real quick. But because in this local area, every area's got bees. The bees pollinate your area, you know, and so that's the honey you're supposed to eat. So anyway, this is local honey. I'll show you. Yeah, I got some. And they also had, like a lot of places up here have the local maple syrup too. A lot of people up here make their own maple syrup. I got a sugar shack on my property, but I don't use it. So it's the people that used to live here use the sugar shack out there to make maple syrup. So yeah, the former people that built this house, they built that sugar shack, so they must have made their own. But here, this is the honey I got, and I almost got the maple syrup though, but I don't really eat a lot of syrup. But yeah, so here it is. Here's my local honey. I bought a little jar. It was $6.95. Let's see, and I'll tell you, this is so yeah. Each area. So this is Minnesota grown honey, clover, and basswood, which is, you know, local. Nature's finest, grade A honey, Honey Hill Farms. Oh yeah, so they must have got, I don't know, it must be a vendor or something that brings it in.
They still DJ. We met.
Oh, come on, guys.
So literally just like.
And then on the back it says, do not feed to infants under 1 year of age. Do you know that? Babies under 1 year old cannot have honey. And neither should kittens and dogs. Yeah. I don't know if that just goes for kittens, but yeah. But anyway, it's Minnesota. I don't know where this place is, but I don't know where Nature's Finest is. But anyway, it's Minnesota. I don't know what town it's from. But anyway, so I took somebody's advice. Whoever said to get honey, I did. Yeah. Hard to listen to? All right. Remember this, Betty totally said that she didn't know who Mark was. What do you mean? When did she say that? That she didn't know who Mark... Oh, did she just say that? Well, let me see. Let me back it up. Okay. Let me see. All right, she says, how's the house coming? Here, we don't even have to have the sound. If the sound isn't working, we don't have to have the sound. But it says, Tyler says, how's the house coming along? Betty said, what house? I don't know. What's going on with the money? Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way. So Tyler says, what's going on? He wants to know what's going on in money. And this is what she says. Betty says, Tyler says, how's the house coming along? Betty says, what house? I don't know what house. Now remember, when they did this particular GoFundMe, they were supposed to be buying that house up the street. But they were asking like way too much. They were asking like, I can't remember if it was $100 and something thousand. And that's just way too high for the houses, especially in that area or whatever. So you know what? Mark Ladd said, so what? Buy it anyway. You know, they're gonna, even Larry said they're asking a lot of money. But anyway, The house was supposed to be the one up the street that had the fence around it, and they had a night, you know, it was like a turquoise kind of looking house, and it had a big garage, and it had even a handicap ramp going up to the front door. Beautiful place, beautiful. So this is the house that they were trying to get at this particular time. So when he says, you know, did you get the house? She's thinking about that one down the road. And I think because it had been for sale for a long time. But what happened was they had this falling out right here. And this is what caused Mark Ladd to say, that's it, I'm done. Yeah.
How's it coming along?
Wow.
For help?
Actually, she's even hard for me to hear. So it might not even be technical difficulties. It says, one house. She says, how's the house coming along? And I'm just going to mute it. I'll read it. Boy, is it downpouring. And I think I left my weed whacker in the rain. I don't know nothing about a house. We had the Mark about the house. What did Mark say about the house? Paige wants an update. Paige wants an update. What an asshole. No, she doesn't. Paige got tricked into telling them where they lived and got permission. Paige wants the update. She said, I don't know. He said, okay. Do you think we ain't got no more money? Okay, so Betty's saying, Mark said they ain't got no more money, okay? This is clear. This is the truth. Yeah, Mark told him you're out of money. Quit going. And so she just spoke to Mark the other day. I remember this. Betty totally said she didn't know who. I don't think on here she's saying that. She said, not on this one. Now, I'll tell you what's even worse. It was the follow-up of this. It was when Mark Lada came out. And that wasn't good either. Anyway, do you think, she said, we ain't got no money. I don't know. She said, oh, Tyler says, okay, from my understanding, there's like, I don't know, 50 or 60,000 in there. Has Mark given you guys an update? Betty says, no. And he says, okay, when was the last time that you talked to Mark? Mr. Nosy. And she said, I talked to Mark the other day. And he said, oh, okay, other day, cool. Okay, we gave him the groceries. Okay. But then we're thinking, wait a minute, why ain't there a house? Yeah, so we dip. Anyway, right there. So if you, in fact, I'll put, you guys, you want me to put the link in the description box? I mean, in the chat? Because you guys can watch this for yourself. And because I know the rain is really loud. And maybe you can't see. Yeah, there's a lot of people. So yeah, I do have a sugar shack on my property. And that what it does, it's like a building made for maple syrup, and you bring all the sap in there, or the tree sap. Ooh, little shit. You bring the maple sap in there, and it boils down, and you keep feeding the fire, and there's a chimney, and it boils it down to like 10 times. So if I remember right, it's something like about, I don't even remember, like 10 gallons boils down to make 1 gallon of syrup or something like that. It takes a lot to make like a gallon. I mean, which is why this real stuff, you know, the Aunt Jemima and all that stuff, Golden Griddle, that's just high fructose corn syrup with some maple flavor or something. But this kind, yeah, it costs more, but it's actually tree sap, you know what I mean? So I don't know if it's any healthier, to be honest. But anyway, but yeah, a lot of people up here make it. Now, I don't know where this honey came from, what town it came from, but there is in town where I bought this, there is maple syrup, and it tells the people's name on it, and like where the maple syrup syrup. So the maple syrup, I think, is really local. I don't know where this honey came from, but nonetheless, it's Minnesota honey. So that's if whatever the bees are pollinating in your area, that's the honey that you're supposed to eat. I'm supposed to eat the Minnesota honey. You're supposed to eat the honey from your state because they're using your flowers. It's how it is, I guess. Oops, I was wrong. It was Betty who told Mark she didn't know who Tyler. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. She did. He said she's. Yeah, Mark said something like, "So what? What were you?" This was on the phone. This was Mark's response when he's sitting in the chair. You know, now he's in the chair, and he had the cell phone. He said, like, "Hey Betty, what did you tell Tyler?" And she said, "I don't know who Tyler is." Yeah, she did say that. Uh, yeah, the closed captions are bigger now because the cat stepped on a keyboard again and made it go back. So I'm not sure what they're stepping on. Yeah, it's hard to listen. Yeah, I do have my Tumblr. Actually, the honey's probably doing good too. I remember this. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And actually, to be fair, this is really what, like, before Tyler Oliveira came about, um it was all good with the Whitakers. It was all happy visits and everything. But when he did this, he drove a wedge. Like he tried to. He drove a wedge between Mark and the Whitakers for a little bit. And they kind of they kind of bounced back from that. And then and then he's like, that's it. I'm done with this fundraising stuff. And then about 2 weeks later, BJ, knowing that they got cut off, BJ pretended that Larry died. So this Tyler Oliveira thing is what set the wheels in motion for BJ. Well, for them all to be cut off, and for BJ to pretend Larry died. And in fact, after this Tyler Oliveira thing happened, Mark not only closed down that GoFundMe, paid the taxes with the 38,000 that was still in there, squared up with the Whitakers. I don't even know how. But he also did. They were just doing that book signing thing. Remember the big book where Rebecca was in it? Another one of Mark's stars was Rebecca. And they were doing this book signing thing, and all the Whitakers signed the book, and they auctioned off the book on eBay or something. And anyway, so this right here with Tyler Oliveira is what started everything to blow up. Because after this happened, Mark did the response. Here, I'll show you. Mark did this response video right here. And it's called Whitaker's GoFundMe. Soft white. Look, you got 1.5 million. Okay, sorry about that. And I'm back. I got kicked off. So when Mark from Soft White Underbelly did his response to what Tyler did, he was doing the interview like he's sitting in the hot seat. Well, the girl that's interviewing him said towards the end, she said, why don't you just call up Betty right now? And he said, should I? She said, yeah, call her up. So he calls up Betty. I'll show you that one. Well, you're probably not going to be able to hear it. My microphone's screwed up. But he calls Betty on the cell phone and he says, what were you saying to Tyler? She said, I don't know who Tyler is. And he said, Tyler's the one that came over here. I'll show you. I'll listen to the, here it is. Yeah. So the lady interviewing Mark suggests that, why don't you just pick up the phone and call Betty and ask her? Because he's trying to find out what the hell it feels like. To him, it feels like Betty and the Whitakers just threw him under the bus. Because that's what shit stirrers do. The shit stirrer wanted Mark to be mad at Whitakers and Whitakers to be mad at Mark. And it kind of worked, you know what I mean? All right, now get out of here. Get out of here. All right, let's see if you can hear it. Put closed caption on again. If you can't, we'll see how the sound is. Can you guys see that? All right. There's a closed caption. Now let's see if we can hear him. So she says, yeah, I can call Betty. I'll call Betty or Larry right now. Okay.
Let's just call really quick and see what they say. Why not?
All right.
I'm going to pay the taxes and we're done.
There you go.
That's just-
He said that he's going to
I
pay.
understand perfectly that every cent is going to the Whitaker family, or has been. No longer. I'm done. They've received every dime that they need to get. I'm going to pay the taxes and we're done. That's what's going on. Thanks for listening.
Do you want to try to call Betty
Oh yeah, I can call
or
Debbie.
Larry?
Can
Let's
we
just
call
call
Debbie?
really quick and see what they say. Why not?
Can you guys hear it? Can you hear it? Please hit the. Well, thank you, Kathleen. And Mark had receipts, not chicken scratch, right? Well, hey, TNT. The whole middle Minnesota. I know I got bad storms right here. Yeah, I got a bad storm right now, so I don't know if it's knocking my internet out or what. I do. It's just downpouring right now. Yeah, I got knocked off. Hey, TNT, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing better. I was hoping to see you tonight. All right. Yeah, we got some storms here. So, okay. So can you guys hear this? You don't hear it. Okay, let me back it up. I'm going to try it again, okay? See if you can hear it. Can you
To
hear
the
it?
Whitaker family, or has been. No longer. I'm done. They've received every dime that they need to get. I'm going to pay the taxes and we're done. That's what's going on. Thanks for listening.
Do you want to try to call Betty
Oh yeah, I can call
or
Debbie.
Larry?
Can
Let's
we
just call really quick and see what they say. Why not?
Let's see if I could do that.
You guys can
And
hear
also,
it?
you could say it's been great and thank you. And
Let's see,
No, I mean, can you hear Mark? Can you hear the video?
let's see if she'll answer the phone.
I think Betty answers. Pick up.
Hey Betty, it's Mike.
Yeah,
Hey, how are you?
I'm alright.
So I just want to be clear about the GoFundMe money that I've been sending you. Like how many times every few weeks you'll call me to ask me for some money, correct?
I know him for free. Every week I
No, but like typically throughout the year, you're calling me many times to ask me for money.
don't. I know you.
I'm sorry?
I know you.
You don't know about that?
I know me. I
Yeah, I know. So I just want to make sure because like when Tyler interviewed you, he asked you like, what's going on with the money? And you said, I don't know. And he asked you about the house. And you said, what house? And it made it look like I'm not giving you guys money. Am I giving you guys money? Well, I told you, we talked about this, that we're going to try to generate money for our house.
know.
Okay, but I've given you over $100,000, like in the last year or so, a couple of months over a year, like the last 14 months, I've given you about $100,000. That adds up to a lot of money. You didn't mention that to Tyler. Tyler was the young man that interviewed you a while back. You don't know him. Okay, well, there's a video on YouTube of you talking with him, and you're saying I didn't give you any money.
I'm telling you, me money, but I'm glad you give me money for that. I thought you didn't know your fault, and I didn't know that.
All right. Well, regardless of what the money was for, how often will I give you money? Like every few weeks, right?
Every week you do.
Yeah. And it's around what? Like sometimes 4,000, sometimes 5, sometimes more, sometimes it's 2 or 3, right?
Dang.
So I,
Is that correct?
Yep.
that's
Okay, good. I just wanted to clarify that, and that's all I wanted to do, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Because it seems like looking at Tyler's video, I don't know what page we're on, but it's a very different page. Well, maybe that video was created digitally by somebody, but it looks like you talking to him.
It's AI.
I don't
correct.
you know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's there's a video on YouTube of you talking to this guy, telling him about how I didn't give anybody any money, and I don't know where it came from, but whatever. I just wanted to clarify everything. Thank you for explaining. All right, Don. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
There you go. Yeah, and he did. He went over the account. In fact, I think it's right here. And listen, this is why you should have a GoFundMe. Because in case like somebody like Tyler Oliveira shows up and tries to throw you under the bus and shit stir and stuff, then you can just pull this off.
Weeks, I'm getting another phone call. We need more money. We need more money. We need more money. And I wire transfer it to Betty. I'll show you a screenshot
There it
of my
is.
bank account, all the wire transfers that I sent to Betty. These are all going from my account to Betty Whitaker's account at the, I think, Chase Bank. I think it is in
Better.
Beckley.
There you go. Now, isn't that funny? Mark from Soft White Underbelly was very easy for him to put this money into Betty's bank, the Chase Bank in Beckley. And I think I counted, and I think there was 30 something. I think there was 30 something transfers into Betty's account. Now, 1,000, 2,000, I think 400, then 3,300. And so somehow Eric could not figure out how to get the money into Betty's bank, yet Mark did it 30 something times for $100,000. Yet Eric needs some type of a lawyer to put it in. I mean, look how easy this
That's
was.
Virginia.
Look at how easy
Wow,
it was. Oh, crap.
You don't know him.
The cat just, I don't even know what he just did. Or she, whatever it is. Yeah, so why couldn't Eric just put it into Betty's Chase Bank in Beckley like Mark did? And look how clean cut this is. The money going in, money going out. Money going in, money going out. Look how easy this is, Eric. All the wire transfers. then nobody would be in money trouble. And look, they all went into Betty Whitaker's bank and the Chase Bank in Beckley, West Virginia. There, look how easy that was. $77,000 before we ended it. It now currently has 55,000. Well, look at Tyler even knew how much was in there. He said 50 to 60,000. Yeah, he was right on the dot. It was 55,000. Currently now has 55,000 in the one for the house. Has 55,000 totals. That's 120, 130,000 roughly. Keep in mind that money still we have to pay tax on that money. Oops, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so 38,000 had to go to taxes. Might even been more because it was a little over 100,000. But yeah, they're talking 38%, you guys. That's a lot. I mean, dang, 38% on your fundraiser goes to taxes. Keep that in mind. Well, at least on this, I don't know if all GoFundMes are like that, but yeah, that's a lot. That's almost half of your GoFundMe. Getting close. Yeah, Eric drives a truck full of melting ice cream. I don't believe that. I mean, maybe I don't. You know, they had ice cream oozing out the back of the trailer every day. If he didn't go fast enough. Back in the 90s, you had electrical storm too. Lightning struck right down our fireplace chimney, exploded. The bricks went through 3 walls and looked like a bomb went off in the 2nd floor. Wow. My parents' house got struck too by lightning. And it went in and went socket to, it was on there in like a 3-season porch. They had just built it. And it went from, it was an addition, and it went from socket to socket to socket to socket, electrical socket, one to the next, burnt, and it exploded the glass table in the porch. Yeah, it is very destructive. Yours sounded like yours got a lot more damage. Wow, that is crazy. How could it go down a chimney? Dang. Glass and bricks everywhere. Yep. It's powerful. You hear it? Well, okay, good. Are you guys okay? That would scare me to death. Yeah. I wouldn't like lightning storms anymore. Because she didn't see the cash. That's why she said, yeah, so it almost, I think in Betty's mind, she was just asked, did you get this large lump of cash for your house? And she told the truth. And we, oh gosh. A kitten just ricocheted off me and took off. Oh. But when she was asked straight up, did I give you cash? She said, yeah. Every few weeks, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the way he worded it, I think got her confused and then made her look like a liar. The thunder woke the baby at the time, so he was in his crib. Good thing the window landed in the crib. The newspaper came out and did a big front page write-up. Wow. Made the news, huh? Yeah, that is scary. Back in the 90s, you'd be scared of every storm. After that, lightning struck my grandmother's tree and shorted a lot of her appliances and plugs, and 3 split and had some. Yeah, it goes through your electrical power. I remember I was at my last house, and I had 2 renters upstairs renting my upstairs, and 2 different guys. They didn't hang around or nothing. They always stuck to themselves. And anyway, a tree got struck in my backyard. I had like an acre, and a tree struck in the backyard, hit this tree, and about an hour later, I'm in my room doing Bible studies, right? But an hour later, the tree got struck again. And I went upstairs. I said, what the hell are you guys doing? Summoning demons or something? I said, that's the second time the tree got struck by lightning, like a half an hour. I don't know what you guys are doing up here, but God's trying to kill you. Yeah. It's like, whatever you're doing, stop it. Because, yeah, it just got hit twice. And it was so weird, you guys. It like curved the bark away all the way down the tree. It like curled it away, burnt it. And, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy the mark that it left on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I went up there. I said, what the hell are you guys doing up here? God struck our tree twice. Whatever you're doing, stop it. Yeah, it's thundering pretty bad. So, yeah, I think sometimes they just, I think the Whitakers are just confused. So it looks like they're playing dumb, but yeah, I think they really are confused. Lots of bushwhackers, because that was not Eric's intent. He was going to make Eric rich. Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of sad. They are simpler minded than most of us. They may not be considered that, but they're, well, they were, and the thing that they put against Patrick, when Patrick got arrested, it said all 5 of them were vulnerable adults. You know what I mean? I think 2 of them being seniors, because once you're over a certain age of being a senior citizen, different states are different, and federal, I think it's 62 across the board, and each state is different. But once you hit that threshold of being considered a senior citizen, you're now a vulnerable adult. So all 5 of them were vulnerable. Betty, Ray, and Lorraine. I mean, Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine being vulnerable. Well, I guess Timmy would be vulnerable. Lorraine and Ray are over that threshold for seniors, so they're automatically vulnerable. And so is Betty and Larry. So all 5 of them were vulnerable adults for one reason or another. But you know what? They're vulnerable adults with everything Eric did too. So I hope that they hold Eric accountable at some point. But yeah, right now it's looking like he's getting away with stuff, but I don't know. We'll see if Eric's not, he said that he's not talking about Whitakers anymore. He's closing the chapter. Well, you can close it, Eric, but it's still, the book's still open on my channel and everybody else's channel. Yeah, Eric, get rich queen scheme. Yeah, they haven't been exposed to things. On that too. Not only they're the elderly and vulnerable, but they're not city slickers. They don't know business. They haven't been exposed to hardly anything. You know what I mean? They pay their bills. They make sure their lights are on, their water's running, and and they got food. And so I don't think really any of them except Larry really had a job. Larry, he raised a family. He had a wife and children. He had BJ, and then there's another daughter that was hers that she adopted. He adopted that girl, I think, at a certain age. I think 6 years old or something. But he basically raised 2 girls, and he had a wife for many years. He worked, I think, in the coal mines. But the rest of them, I don't think none of them worked. Betty's never had a job that I know of. Timmy, I don't think's ever had a job. Lorraine's probably never had a job for sure. Ray's never had a job. So the only one that's ever worked outside the home is Larry. And maybe BJ. I imagine BJ's probably had a job at some point. Maybe not recently, but nonetheless, out of all of them, Larry's the only one that's ever held a job. So they don't know about business stuff. They don't know about None of this stuff. I don't even know if they would know about taxes because, that large amounts that they got from Mark Leda, Mark took care of the taxes. He said, so we don't have a tax problem. That means him and them. So, yeah. There, see how clean cut he wrapped everything up with a tight bow? And there was no questions asked. There's no, and that's why I said, it dawned on me one day that when Eric complains that Mark Leda isn't getting charged, if you guys heard him, right? So Mark Leda complains a lot that Eric complains a lot recently that Mark Leda is not being held accountable for what he did. And, me and probably everybody else says, well, that's because Mark can account for his money, right? But I don't think that's what he's talking about. It dawned on me recently that he's not talking about the money because it's obvious Mark showed the money every penny, which is not, Eric can't say that. What he's talking about is how come, because I think Eric knows that exploitation, well, I think Eric, and let me rephrase that. I believe that Eric knows that it's a possibility that he too is going to be charged with exploitation. So that makes more sense saying, well, why doesn't Mark get charged with it too? Because he thinks he's done the same thing as Mark, right? So there's two things that he would think he's getting in trouble for. One, taking the money, not accounting for it, which Mark did. And number two would be the exploitation. So I think that's what he's talking about. He's wondering why Mark hasn't been charged for exploiting. Because I think that's what I believe, just my opinion, I think that Eric feels maybe that charges of exploitation are coming down the pike. That he might be charged himself with that. Same things that Patrick's being charged. So he's wondering, makes more sense that he would wonder how come Mark Soft White Underbelly isn't. Yeah, Kenny does mow lawns. Yes, he does. Yeah, it's seasonal. Kenny, there's somebody that gets jobs for Kenny. He's not like a full-time lawnmower guy. But yeah, Kenny, because Kenny got his license taken away, and I think it was 2020. So now Kenny can only ride a ATV up the road or lawnmower. So yeah, if he did work, I don't think he can anymore because he's only got the ATV now. And last I saw, he didn't get his license back yet. So yeah. Well, actually, in the Christmas video, well, no, it was either the Christmas video or the one that the trailer burned down. When Mark went over there, he flat out asked Kenny, "Are you working still, or what are you doing?" And Kenny's like, not really, not lately." It might have been because it's winter. No indictments came down to Mark. No. What are you gonna charge Mark for? He accounted for every penny, so you can't go there. And I don't believe Mark exploited him. What Mark did is he went over, did an interview, brought him a few places, and left him very well compensated. I would say overcompensated. So how is that exploitation when the Whitakers themselves made a lot of money? Eric is not on Mark's level. No, he's not. He wishes. And you know what? We all know that Eric couldn't have pulled this off with Mark because Mark is business savvy, right? But Eric knew when he met Patrick that, yeah, he can flamboozle him, use his, preacher's son, dad talk status, fake status, to, trick him. But like I said, most people, Eric probably couldn't have fooled many people. especially people like Mark who are very smart businessmen. He cuts firewood too? Oh yeah. Yeah, he should be held accountable. I don't think Mark has done anything wrong, but yeah, Eric should be held accountable. Absolutely. All right, I should probably wrap this up, you guys. It's over 3 hours. I don't want to make this too long. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. It's been over 3 hours. It's just too hard for people to watch these long streams. Yeah, yeah, he's always pointing the finger at someone else, never him and his fault. And you know what? It brings credibility to people if you admit when you've done wrong. Okay, because they can't say, yeah, she lied, man. She keeps saying she didn't do it and she did. We all know she did. Anyway, when you just cop to something, just say, yeah, I did it. You know, unless you're in a police station, you might want to check with a lawyer. Well, thank you, TNT. Sent gold coins, 10 jewels. Thank you. I appreciate that. Gold coins and 10 jewels gifts. Thank you, TNT. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm sorry, I must not have seen because I'm on my phone looking at the comments. But yeah, I'm going to be working on that. If this laptop doesn't work, I'm going to have to. I'll get a new laptop, something that works, so I can make the sound better and make it easier for me. So thank you very much, TNT. I appreciate that. So yeah, I will wrap it up so we all don't stay up too late. Anyway, yeah, but I do want to thank everybody for coming in. If you want, we can go over Dwayne's video tomorrow night, whatever you guys want to do. Yeah, whatever you want to cover tomorrow night. I will be having Jane back soon, maybe I think on the weekend. I'm going to make sure that nobody else is going live, like Patrick or somebody who has the same subscribers as I do. So, all right, cool. Love that. All right, yeah. So we could go over Dwayne's his pissed off parent video, which I think is funny. And that, remember, that's the one where he motorboats Patrick. Yeah, Dwayne like uses his technology to make it look like he's motorboating Patrick's chest. Oh, they just keep getting weirder. Eric's got a big one. Yeah, everybody's got it. Yeah. Thank you, Alicia. I appreciate that. Good night to you too. Yeah, Eric's got a big warm hole in his face. He does. Yep. I would bet money on that. Yeah. So the big wormhole denial has been debunked. Okay, I showed it. He said it. And if you want a better copy of that, ask Patrick, because I'm pretty sure it was on his Facebook at one time. That same clip. All right. So yeah, thanks to everybody for coming in. I really, really appreciate it. It was always fun. And so yeah, see you next time. See you on the next one. Peace.